inverted, narcissistic, and most importantly, completely pointless. Come waste an hour of your week with The Starting Block, Friday nights Australian time at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. Get in touch with us on Twitter at The Starting Block, no K at the end. Also, subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or iTunes by searching for The Starting Block, all one word, or on Podbean at startingblock.podbean.com. Join the blockheads, tuning in their millions, right around the world.
You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We got muted words, we got story times, we got folks are dumb, we got PM math, all that, much more here on the block.
Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain, thunder, wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, and nothing's gonna stop me now.
It's Greeno here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok, and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's gain. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. You've got myself, Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who's also put forward his own budget reply. but surprisingly, 98% of it allocated to hard liquor. My co-captain Damo, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership around the world, morons. Welcome aboard. Blockheads, millions. Don't forget about the blockheads. The blockheads are the most important morons we have out there. The blockheads. We love
exactly.
them. Yeah, the budget replies. I've seen my fair share of budget speeches over my lifetime, Green. You know, the stage that I'm kind of at in my life. I'm going to give you a little bit of this one. Just
I like stories about pinatas.
The stage I'm at in my life now, it's like, remember when I would tell you about swimming, and it's like, you know, the reason that you don't do it forever is because it's so painfully isolating and boring because you're just staring at the bottom of the pool hour after hour after hour after hour. And now I'm at the stage of my life where it's like, you know what? I've seen budget speeches and I've seen budget replies. The budget speech, here's the last 20 years of budget and budget replies in one fucking sentence. The budget always promises more than they can give, and the budget reply thinks everything is a bad idea. And that's what happens, and it keeps happening, and it happens every single year. And I'm amazed, like, people make careers, Greeno, out of writing about the budget in a newspaper. I say, let's get rid of all budgets. Let's just keep spending like Richie Rich or Richard Pryor in that movie. Remember he had like a month or whatever it was? Brewster's Millions.
Yeah, no, it's all 80s. Now you've got my ear, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, where's my... So I think... You know, in a you were
searching for the nice Gary. Like, I didn't give a nice Gary.
I couldn't figure out. It was muted. What was going on? But I double tapped the button. The buttons are very sensitive. We're going to open the kimono here. The buttons are very sensitive. So if you've got to tap it forcefully just once. If you tap it like a little bit timidly, it double taps and turns itself off again.
Yeah, it's been the bane of our existence in the studios for a few years. That's correct.
That's it. So you just got to make sure that you really nail those buttons down. So yeah, I think we treat the budget from now on. I want to see one last great budget, and it's let's just empty the fucking bank account, Greeno. Right? Let's just fucking spend everything we have and everything we can possibly borrow, and then at the end of it, let's do this, Greeno. At the end of it, it's like, well, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it, mate? Okay, so all right, we'll live in the dark ages for maybe, 50 years, 100 years or something like that. We'll still have each other.
Yeah.
You know, and life will be good. Some of the greatest stories, Greeno, were written in concentration camps, weren't they? So some of the most entertaining stories. So maybe it's all worth it in the end.
Here's the thing with the budget. I got two thoughts on the budget. Once again, the show has turned a bit more political than I'd like over the last few months. More so me showing my naivety when it comes to politics. Secondly, there's just been a lot of stupidity that's happened above the normal level of stupidity you see in politics.
Well, see, you've never taken enough of an interest in politics to be as bitter and cynical as I am now. See, because now
I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point. Getting to the point of like
you were cynical though. You were cynical before because you weren't paying attention, but now that you've started paying attention, it actually accelerates your cynicism because you're like, oh shit, it's much worse than I thought.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
It's a fucked moment where I'm kind of like, this is a lot worse than I thought it was. Fuck me. Like this is really bad on so many different levels. First thought was, what is the point of a budget reply for someone who has no choice? You can't implement anything with the budget. Like I understand in a election year because that person might be doing the spending, so that makes sense. But the other 3 years in an election cycle, what the fuck is the point of the budget reply? Because they can't. They're like, oh, I would have done this. Well, you're not in power, dickhead. So fucking thanks for wasting a whole bunch of paper. You unenvironmentalist.
The opposition budget reply is like the beaten wife in the 1950s trying to argue about how much money the husband is spending on alcohol. You know, it's like, honey, you're spending the kids' fucking diaper money on alcohol. We can't feed the children. We're all starving. You know, little Sally's ribs are sticking out. And he's just like, well, that's a great reply, but I'm going to go down to the bar now and drink my body weight in scotch. And then have somebody come home and then I'm going to beat you up a little bit because my dinner will be cold at 1 a.m. when I do come home.
do come home.
And
Not
it will be
because of
your
her
fault. Yeah.
but because he came home at 1 a.m.
That's right. So the opposition is like the government stands up in front of the opposition and says, right, this is what we're going to do with our money. Okay. So, and the opposition says, well, it's not all your money. And they go, yes, we know you contribute with your little bits on the weekend and stuff. You know, we know you chip in for dog food every now and then, and we're all very grateful. But this is what I've decided as the dad we're going to do with the money. And then tomorrow night you get to go to bed, and collect your thoughts.
Here's what I'd like to do. And there's like a whole allocation for new dresses, new vanity, renos to the house. No, we're not going to fucking do that.
The opposition comes in and says, well, honey, I think it would be a smashing idea to give some more money to poor people. And the government kind of turns with the other drunken men and, to each other and says, do you hear this fucking bitch? Listen to this crazy shit. She's fucking
not doing that. Not doing that with our money. That's crazy.
So, yeah. Basically, the opposition is a beaten wife. And how many times can you watch a budget reply without, I feel sorry for the opposition every single time.
Pointless exercise.
It is.
Or not.
Yeah.
My second thought, though, Damo, is a budget is the definition of a budget is anticipated spending, correct?
Well, governments have funny definitions for things, don't they, Greeno?
So I can sit here and come up with a budget going, I'm going to put X amount of money in this, I'm going to put X amount of money in that. There's nothing that says I have to spend that money.
No, but when you say budget, you mean a budget. When politicians say budget, they don't mean a budget. They mean something else entirely. It's got money they borrowed. It's got money they're borrowing 10 years into the future. Fucking considered into it. There's like hidden interest rates. There's new taxes and stuff. What they do isn't actually a budget.
No, but what I'm saying is there's it's not a commitment to we are going to spend this amount of money and borrow these loans and do this and this. Right. After the budget, they can still go, nah, fuck it. We're not going to spend any of that.
Exactly.
We decided we're just going to put the money aside. Yeah. We're going to keep it here. So the budget itself is, once again, is like a completely pointless exercise because no one's forced to adhere to said budget. They can go over in this thing. Like I read through the budget overnight. I didn't see anything about no fucking car park. I saw no pork barrel budget. I saw no sports roll budget. Like all those things that we know are coming up. I didn't see a budget for fucking campaign advertising. We know a lot of taxpayers' money is going to go on that. So ultimately, the budget itself is a farce, Damo.
It's a farce.
A farce.
Jim in the chat nails it, Greeno. He nails it. He says it's anticipated revenue. They'll talk about in the budget. They'll be like, no, don't worry. No, it's all costed under anticipated revenue. And you know what else I like in budgets, Greeno? How they say shit like, we're going to spend $40 million making sure that we're coal-free by 2050. And I always think to myself, do you plan to be in government until 2050? Because the next guy can just come in and go, all right, we're not doing that. That was that guy's promise. I don't know why he promised something 30 years from now. He just lost. What's the fucking point of that?
I'm with you though on your thought process, right? Where if I'm the opposition, I'm just fucking like I'm throwing all my chips on the table. Like I'll put the country into a multi-trillion-dollar deficit.
Yes, why not?
Just to say I'm going to give every single person $100,000 in Australia. Yep. Fucking vote me in the coming election. Vote Albo. Vote one Albo. $100,000 each, right? Everyone get 100.
Albo riding on the back of a Mardi Gras float, just throwing handfuls of fucking money.
Fistfuls of cash. And just be like, fucking, we're buying a house for everyone. Doesn't matter that we're going to be in like crippling debt. Interest rates will be 400,000%. Doesn't matter. Yeah. If Albo promises everyone gets a house in Australia, fucking, they'll vote him in.
You know what?
So
how about this? Budget. How about to get this over the line, Greeno, politically? Because we might come up against some opposition ourselves trying to push this let's just spend it all now budgetary idea that you and I are planning here for the next election cycle.
We refer to it as the balls deep budget.
The balls deep budget. The BDB.
They're all the way in. Right. We can't go any further.
BDB 2023, the balls deep budget. So... whilst we're going to come up against some opposition against this balls deep budget, I propose to you this, Greeno. How about this? What if we also, just because we think you're a good guy and I like the look of you, and I like what's going on. Why don't we just why don't we promise everyone in the Ukraine a fucking house too? We'll just throw that in. All right.
No,
Now, who's going to say no? Who's going to say no to that? We're going to have fucking celebrities at the Oscars, mate, saying vote for the bloc.
Yeah. Fucking oath. I like where your head's at,
Saving Ukrainians. Just
let's
spend
not
it all
throw
now.
out all ideas, because I reckon the bloc can run as an independent for PM in what year it'll be, 2025?
Mm-hmm. 2025 by the time we
I reckon better keep it. We'll start formulating our budget. So at the moment, Ukraine, that might not exist in 3 years' time. So we'll come up with a backup plan. But we'll take that formula and find the next, random war-torn country.
The next Ukraine. We're going to be looking for the next Ukraine, yeah.
In for 3 years' time, and that'll be at the forefront of our humanitarian budget. So we have two separate budgets. We got our get us voted in budget, and then we're going to have a humanitarian budget, which is technically a subplot of the get us voted in budget. We'll get the celebrity endorsements for the Ukrainians or new Ukraine, whatever it may be.
Yep.
I like where your head's at.
New Ukraine, old Russia,
Ukraine.
new Russia. Doesn't really matter. Everybody gets a house anyway, whatever.
Could a quick thought on Ukraine, if you don't mind. Things that Greeno knows, we talked about, 80s movies, sport, tit. Know those things. Things I don't know about, politics, geography. I didn't realize how big Russia was, right? Until I had to look at a map last week for a quiz to try and win $25 at work.
I've often thought that the reason that Russia is powerful is not necessarily because of any particular reason other than their land mass, because it's so big it's unconquerable. You can't conquer Russia because there'll be a bunker of some fucking crazy drunken Cossacks in the middle of fucking Siberia somewhere or something, that you'll never find. That I reckon they've got bases out there that human feet haven't stepped on in fucking 60 years, Greeno, out in the middle of nowhere. So the Russia is fucking huge, mate. Huge. And that's probably why Hitler lost World War II. If you want to be serious. Because he tried to attack him from the east. What he should have done is come through the Middle East and then try to split Russia in half, you see. He didn't do that because he was an idiot. Nice, Gary! Idiot. Other than that, he was a pretty nice guy, but he was clearly an idiot.
That aside.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking about the invasion of Ukraine, and I kind of linked it. I'm like, why do they need that plan? Like, they've already got enough, right? Like, surely, why do they need a little bit more? And I likened it to like a property developer who owns 7,000 hectares of like land and property and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And there's a little mum and pop farm which has a little 600 square meter to the side, and I'm like, I want that one as well. And you're like, no, but you've already got the shit on the side. Like, you got all that.
That's a fair point, isn't it? Like, do you think the countries around Russia, like your Polands, your Belaruses, Greeno, your Finlands, your Ukraines, do you reckon they sit there with Russia and say, don't you have enough? Haven't you got enough of everyone else's toys?
Yeah, like, you've got enough there. Like, just enjoy what you got. Let's have our little bit over here. We'll be all right.
Maybe this is the way we should discuss, these kind of geopolitical crises, Greeno, in greater detail. We'll just sit Russia down and say, now, Russia, don't you think you're being a little unfair? I mean,
take it as boys, mate. Like, yeah.
Now, have you heard of share and share alike? How would you like it if Belarus or Poland or Finland or Ukraine started cleaving off parts of your territory?
Wouldn't like that, would you?
Wouldn't like that very much.
5 minutes in the naughty corner.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the land you already have. Don't you think you've got enough? Yeah.
Exactly. As my kids say to me, sharing is caring.
That's right. Nice, Gary! Let's get that hashtag going. Sharing is caring. Let's try to get Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table.
Now, that would be the ultimate, once again, let's use the phrase, balls deep move from Zelensky. I'd like him to go back and go, no, we want a piece of this now.
Yeah.
We want a piece of Russia.
You wants Zelensky should invade Russia.
I reckon he should invade Russia. But not all of it, just a bit of it. Like
Just a slice,
the weak outskirts that no one wants anyway.
You could get the
So
bits
Russia's-
up around China. No one's really interested in them except the
like that
Chinese.
was it.
You know.
Like if you're treating it like a steak, right? You're looking at the fat residue,
Yeah.
which is important for the flavor of the rest of Russia. But Zelensky shouldn't attack all of the fat, just like a portion of it.
Yeah,
Like
you
the chewy fat, you're not really going to sizzle off, not adding flavor, like the loose fat, if you will.
Yes.
That isn't really absorbing into the heart of Russia's flavor profile.
Yeah, it's like this, Greeno. You get rid of that sinewy, silvery skin shit off the back of your fucking roast. You cleave it off. You get underneath it. You scrape it with your knife. Get that shit out of there. But if it's I've done this move before, Greeno. I don't know about you. I've gotten a roast and then wrapped it because obviously I used to be a butcher. I would just wrap it in we used to cut beef fat off parts of a cow in huge pieces.
Big fat chunks, yeah.
Big fat chunks, and then I would roll a roast in it,
That's right there. That's the Zelensky method, right? So he's going to what he should do. He should take the excess fat off Russia.
Yeah.
Make it seem like he's doing Putin a favor. Go, look, I'll take this off
this?
your
It's
hands.
garbage. It's no good for you.
But then what he'll do is he'll wrap that around the Ukraine and turn it into the ultimate superpower.
Definitely. Oh, we've actually got, by the way, we were talking about Finland. We've got the Pate in the chat. That's Paul. He's a fucking old mate from Rust, Greeno. A couple of years ago, we used to play with Paul on Rust. He's Finnish, Greeno. So
There you go.
So he knows all too well about the Russians kind of sticking their noses in and, and so asking what's going on around here.
Does he understand our steak fat war analogy though?
Yes. So Finland would be in the steak wrapping the fat around the roast. Where would Finland fit into that equation, Greeno? Because if we're using the Zelensky method by getting the extra juicy fat on the outside of the roast, where would Finland be the string that ties
I see Finland as kind of like the flavor.
The flavor of the roast, yeah.
We're talking a lamb roast. Let's refer to Russia as a lamb roast.
Okay.
I see Finland as like the rosemary.
The rosemary. That's a fucking nice Gary too. Because it's just a little bit of touch. Some of our favourite sporting icons are Finnish.
Finnish. Well, one.
Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah.
One. That's it.
Just Kimi. Just Kimi.
But is enough. Oh, side note. I know we haven't started the show yet.
Have you been watching the F1?
We've been watching it. What a fucking great race the last race was.
Last two races were late drama.
Yeah, late drama, but very good race, the last one. But did you see they're now racing in Vegas?
Yeah.
And if they don't find a way to get Kimi Räikkönen back for the Vegas first race, just so we can see Kimi on the Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
Oh, my word, they've missed an opportunity there. Like we need someone to come down with the Rona. In 2023, Kimi coming as substitute driver and just fuck shit up in Vegas.
I have it on good authority, Greeno, that once Kimi Räikkönen heard that the F1 circuit is now going to Las Vegas, he was rumoured to have been overheard in an outburst, something along the lines of, well, those motherfuckers, they would know I would tear it up in Las Vegas if I was allowed to be there. But, clearly they're sucking the dicks of our sponsorship and... they do not understand Formula One, and they do not understand what makes good publicity. So
Nice, Gary!
I got another little. I reached out to Kimi throughout the week, and I also got a different soundbite from Kimi just on his thoughts about Vegas and the race, and here's what he had to say. The Vegas, it's a soft cock area. I know everyone thinks it's a body town, but you go there, you can't even see the stripper's vagina. You go to the strippers, and there it's either no vagina booze or vagina no booze. I'd much rather stay in Finland and punch strippers and see vagina and drink. That's
fucking legend, Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah,
Kimi Räikkönen.
One of my favorite Kimi Räikkönen stories, I remember because when you and I used to do the Formula One, we used to do a Formula One preview show every year and talk about the
F1 preview show.
F1 preview show, buffet, blokey, shit in the car. So we used to do this F1 preview show. And, you know, it was
An hour
pre-season.
on. Side note, we need to give a backstory. An hour of community
I like
radio
stories about
where we'd sit
pinatas.
there and analysed Formula One testing results, and not just like, oh, you know, this person led. No. We'd go fucking session to session,
Balls deep.
talk about times, how someone changed certain settings between test 1, test 2.
We would talk about how Williams hired an engineer who used to work for Red Bull, but then went to like a Porsche Cup competition and earned his stripes and won the championship. And now, like, we're really excited about, you know, he's probably going to shave tenths off this fucking
He's going to
car.
take tenths off, and based on testing 3 in Giraffe, you know, we're excited with the prospect. That's what we used to on community radio, and no wonder we never got a good time slot.
Yeah.
But sorry, I interrupted your story.
Oh, there was a story.
I like stories about pinatas.
No, that was your story.
I can't remember. What were we talking
You're talking about back in the day. We used to do an F1 preview show, and then I got distracted by giving some background.
Yeah, we used to do an F1 preview show. I don't know, Kimi Räikkönen, something to do with Kimi in the F1 preview show. You know, we used
Can't be that important.
Yeah, can't be. You're right. Nice.
No, you were talking about your favourite Kimi story.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is fucking important. So we used to do this F1 preview show, Greeno.
I was trying to think of a trigger. I'm like, you're talking about Kimi story. There we go. Yeah. We're back on track.
Yeah. So we used to do this F1 preview show, and, you know, we used to collect stories from the F1 testing off season, if you like, you know, for this F1 preview show. And I came across this story. I don't know if you remember it, Greeno. And it was basically Kimi Räikkönen was caught, like, quote unquote, caught. He was like riding a snowmobile naked, drunk, after earlier in the night. You know, like the next morning he was on a snowmobile naked, tearing shit up, drinking like with vodka and shit. But earlier that night he'd been like beaten up by bouncers and kicked out of a strip club for groping the strippers. And it's just like,
Nice, Gary.
because you look around the other Formula One teams and it'll be like Fernando Alonso's running marathons, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Mark Webber's riding. Like,
He's doing
injured because
triathlons,
He decided to ride like a mountain bike for 400 kilometers.
They're all being super fit. Lewis Hamilton is getting selfies and, you know, getting pictures taken of him in a denim vest with a Tag Heuer watch. Like a
Got to be done. Is very important.
Yeah, but like a punce, he's doing that. But Kimi's out naked in the middle of Finland, something like in the Finnish countryside, riding snowmobiles naked, drinking down vodka and punching strippers. And I'm like, because that, you know what, Greeno? I'm going to be passionate about this. That is that's what F1 is all about, mate. That's why I love Bernie Ecclestone. You know why? Because he was sticking his shriveled up old dick into those 25-year-old whores. Because he was. That's what F1 is all about. It's about being over the top and, you know, ridiculous and fucking embracing live fast, die young, Greeno. That's what F1 is.
Kimi Räikkönen was definitely the James Hunt of our era.
He was James Hunt. That's a good reference. I saw something flash up the other day, like on some video I was watching, someone just snipped it in. And, you know, it was James Hunt. And it's like, James, it was like an interview, like the Brundle of the day. James, how do you explain that in these conditions on that car, you were able to circulate 1 second a lap faster than everybody else? And he wrote something along the lines of that. And he replies to big balls. You know? What do you have? Yeah, big balls.
Big balls.
Big
and it's fucking true. He just didn't care. Like, this is back in the day when you'd have F1 drivers dying every third race. Right. And, like, basically it'd go race 1, race 2, F1 funeral, race 3, race 4, F1 funeral. Like, you'd have to take a week off. They'd purposely put gaps in the schedule for a potential funeral just to be safe.
That's it.
And that's what it did take. It took fucking big balls and, like, a lot of risks taken out there to survive.
And Niki Lauda nearly dying. That was the other reason.
Now, that is the fucking hardest cunt I've ever seen in motorsport.
I love Niki Lauda. Just I don't know if I love him, but I just love the fucking story of it. Like, that is a guy that F1 could not fucking kill. You know, and it tried so hard to kill him, but he refused. Came
back. It's not even like he says, I'll come back next season. I'll come back a few years. He came back that year with burns so fucked up.
Couldn't even get his helmet on.
To put his helmet on was agony, and then he still raced and won. Like, didn't win the championship that year, but still, like, was competitive in races.
Because didn't he refused to race in the wet or something?
In that super wet one, and then James Hunt won
and that's why he lost the championship, but then he came back the very next year and fucking dominated.
And won it, exactly.
Yeah. Niki Lauda's one of those stories, because we grew up, Greeno, you and I, we grew up in the Michael Schumacher era, and it was just all Schumacher. And don't get me wrong, he's one of the greats, obviously. But Schumi he had the Lewis Hamilton advantage of being in the obviously best car, clearly a car better than everybody else's, as well as being a super good driver. Don't get me wrong.
In Schumacher's defense, like when he went to Ferrari, they were shit.
Oh yeah, and he brought them up, but then he had 5 years of them dominating as well.
Just dominating, true.
No, but you're right. And he took a lot of the guys from Renault to Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Ross Brawn came over as head director. He was previously at the Renault team, Benetton, sorry.
Benetton, which was pseudo Renault, yeah.
Pseudo Renault, exactly. This show is completely fucking off the rails. We haven't even started on
this is just pre-show.
Yeah, it's pre-show. But you're 100% right. He brought over, a lot of those Renault guys that had won in championships in the Benetton and then turned the Ferrari. I think they had 2 years that were kind of really garbage. And then year 3 is when they finally kind of clicked in. And then he made F1 boring for 5 years, like Lewis did for the last 6. And then it kind of all went back to normal.
Yeah, they were crappy for a couple of years, but when they were quote unquote crappy, I remember Schumi's getting 6th, 7th, when they were a shit car.
Yeah, 100%. Like he was still putting that car way, and that's the testament to great drivers. We talk about Fernando Alonso plenty from this show over the years, and he's one of those drivers who can just fucking wring the neck out of any car no matter what you give him.
Yep.
Schumacher was the same. Like he'd find a way to. It was back in those days though. There was a lot more tactics played a lot more. I remember at the moment. The big thing with F1 at the moment now in races is the undercut. You got to get in early, and then you'll get that 1 lap advantage because you're in earlier. Schumacher used to be the opposite. He'd go, oh, they've gone in, excellent. Now I'm going to fucking go flat out on old tires.
Exactly.
And I'm going to overtake them whilst they've had their pit stop on fresh tires and still go faster on old tires and get ahead that way.
Yep.
So he did the reverse, the overcut, I guess.
Yeah. He would deliberately hold up his rival. If he knew his rival had to pit, he was just he's a German, man. This is the way Germans think, right? They're very tactical about fucking everything. So if he had a rival behind him who he knew had to pit sooner, he would purposely hold him up and drive slower and just stick his car in the way and make sure he wasn't overtaken. So the guy behind him is not gaining anything. But he's just, then he's in the pits and then he fucking lets go and he was just flying because he's conserved his fucking tires and his fuel. He can really hit the gas now. So he goes and then puts in fastest lap, like 3 or 4 fastest laps back to back to back to back. And by the time he pits, he's 10 seconds ahead of the other guy who's just been out on cold tires. He was a genius with shit. And let's not forget when he crashed into Damon Hill, Greeno.
That was
to save himself a championship.
I remember watching that as a kid and going, what the fuck just happened?
What a piece of shit.
Because that was back when the Australian GP was the last race of the year in Adelaide. And it was amazing. So the championship would occasionally come down to that race, whether it be Mansell or Hill or Villeneuve or the Schumacher between them. And then I remember there was one where Schumacher and Villeneuve were fighting for the championship. But it was the opposite, I think. I think Villeneuve might have been ahead of Schumacher in the championship. So I was like, well, he can't fucking pull that trick this time, can he? But yeah, the Damon Hill incident where he just intentionally fucking ran him off the track and crashed in and got, I'm champion.
Yeah, that was a piece of shit move. Damon Hill handled it well, though, and he came back and won himself a championship as well.
He sure did.
And I quite like Damon because he did it quite old, didn't he? He was like 35 or something.
Yeah, I don't think he was 35, but he was in his 30s. He was in the later stages of his career because then after that he went to he had a couple of years at Williams where he was dominant and then went to Arrows and kind of dwindled out in the back end of his career.
I think didn't he end up at Jordan?
Might have been Jordan. For some reason I thought it was an Arrows. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he could have done both. I seem to remember him driving with Heinz-Harald Frentzen for a year or two. Remember Heinz-Harald?
No, because Heinz-Harald Frentzen was in a Williams in 1997.
But he was also in a Jordan. So I just don't know because Jordan had a lot of, Rubens Barrichello was there for 3 or 4 or 5 years before he went to Ferrari. But then Jordan just had kind of a driver every other year then, I think.
Let's give a nice Gary to both me and you.
Okay.
Nice.
Did you look it up, did you?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay.
So he started in a Brabham in 92.
Yep.
He went to Williams he was only there for 4 years, 93 to 96.
Yep.
He then went to Arrows, as I said.
That's when Williams was dominant, though.
It was.
That was their era, wasn't it?
And then he ended his career in a Jordan the year after.
Ah, there you go. Nice game.
Nice, Gary.
So we both
And
got it
I
right.
was right. I said he was in 1997 was the era. Oh, no, 96. I thought he was with Heinz Heller Frentzen, which it was correct because I remember it because I've got F1 97 from PlayStation 1 still.
Nice,
F1 97.
I've still got it because I'm like, oh, it's a vintage. I can't get rid of it. There we go.
There you go. Nice, Gary.
Now, I don't know. I want to do a quick muted word of the week. Let's fucking end segment 1 with muted word of the week,
All
which
right.
is actually the first topic. This week, had to mute a couple of words.
All right. Tell me what you've got. So let's hang on. Let's build the case first. So what have we already muted? We've muted Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, that's already done.
That's done.
We built we muted the shooter kid, Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse muted him. Now it's quite difficult. This proves the system works, in my opinion, Greeno. It's quite difficult to remember the words you've muted.
Muted, exactly. I was like, what the fuck did I mute? Not in my timeline anymore.
I know. Since I've started adopting your method of muting words on Twitter, I'm now starting to feel like Milhouse in the episode of Simpsons where he's like, this is great. Not only am I not learning stuff, but I'm forgetting things I used to know.
Exactly, 100%. That's the whole point of muting words, mate. It's fucking good times.
Yeah, because eventually one day, all I'll have will be sport, 80s movies, and tit, Greeno.
Tit. That's what you fucking want. Show me a fucking unhappy person that has a timeline of nothing other than 80s and 90s movies. So we're going to extend that.
Okay.
Sport and tit.
No, I don't know.
You
And if they're out there, I don't want to meet them.
I don't want to know them.
Yeah.
If they're not happy with that, fucking, I don't want to know these people. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So this week had to mute very fucking early on. It was a Monday mute. I don't like doing a Monday mute, but I had to fucking do it. Will Smith had to be muted.
Oh, will you muted Will, Greeno?
Nice, Gary.
What about Chris Rock?
timeline,
Did you
bro.
not mute Chris Rock as well?
Well, it always intertwine, so I was okay. Anything that had Rock was already muted by it always referring to Will Smith.
Right.
As a safety net, I had to also mute the word cuckold. Just to be safe, because I didn't want it slipping in
Gary.
any kind of subversive tweets that related to Will. It's an interesting scenario. Poor old Fresh Prince. What happened? What happened to fucking poor old? Well, he'll let a man fuck his wife and know about it. But someone makes a little baldy joke about her and fucking and then once again, like, if you're gonna get up on stage and fucking be a hard cunt, at least punch the dude, don't slap him.
Like, make it count, mate.
Yeah.
I reckon, here's my genuine opinion on it, right? I reckon they were both kind of bitches about it. He went up and went for the open palm slap, and it's like, well, then you're just trying to make a statement. Like, you're basically a woman in a food court, slapping down a food tray on a table. Like, okay. But then Chris Rock acted like a bitch as well in response. And people go, oh, no, because he was on TV and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So here's the thing, right? Because when he was like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, there was a moment there where Chris Rock is like, I'm going to, this. And I thought, he kind of bitched out. And then my suspicions were confirmed, Greeno, because remember, this is Hollywood we're talking about here, right? Mm-hmm. My suspicions were confirmed when later on that night, Chris Rock's team, his posse, his entourage, whatever you want to fucking call them, they released this video of Chris Rock, like, pretending to be held back by his bodyguards, and he's at the bottom of a set of stairs, and he's like, well, and he's screaming out to him. He's like, no, I'm not going to let this shit happen. I'm like, oh, okay. So clearly you realize then, and you recognize that you looked like a fucking bitch up there.
Nice, Gary.
A guy came up to slap you, and you just stood there, right? And then you basically apologize, and like, well, I'm not going to mention her again, And he looked like I'm not saying it was right or wrong or whatever, but in that world of perception, Greeno, he looked like he kind of bitched out. You know what I mean?
See, I kind of took a different perspective on it. I'm kind of like, look, he kind of, what was he meant to do? Go down and fucking, like, brawl the dude? I think and the fact he didn't touch his face, he just kind of like, he just took the hit and was like, and then responded like, bro, it was a fucking G.I. Jane joke.
No,
Like,
no, I know, I disagree, because the image that we're led to believe is of that of the fearless comedian Greeno. Now, if Chris Rock were the fearless comedian that he was, he would have put another line right into her straight after he got up. And
You could see he was about to fucking make a joke.
That's what I mean. He bitched out,
And
because
then-
a comedian's fists are their jokes, Greeno. You know what I mean?
He bit his tongue.
He
He bit his
bitched out.
tongue. I saw him do it. I'm like, he was about to fucking make
Should
it.
have
Like,
savaged
a real
him.
sharp joke there. He should, like, I would have done it, but
He should have fucking savaged him. You know what I keep coming back to? You know what we're going to have to, I'll key it up in the ad break, Greeno. There is this great video of Jamie Foxx at this roast, and I can't even remember the guy's name who's doing like a roast at this time, but they're all invited, right? And Jamie Foxx, in my opinion, like, I don't know what he's doing recently, but back when we were growing up, Greeno, one of the funniest men on the planet as far as I was concerned, Jamie Foxx. Fucking incredibly talented comedic actor, right?
he's very, very funny. The problem is he's fucking completely in love with himself.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But he's a black guy, man.
No,
So it works. It works.
Not in like a fun black guy way. It's a Hollywood douchebag way. Like
Probably. I don't care.
Every interview I see with Jamie Foxx now is like, so I was hanging with Beyonce, right? And we were sitting there, me and
but I don't
JC,
watch his
and it was
interviews. I
fucking
watch his
ripping.
movies.
No, and that's it. Like, if we're talking old school Jamie Foxx before he had all these like rich, famous friends, I 100% agree with you. Very fucking funny, very sharp. Now, in every interview he does, he's fucking sitting there dropping like, yeah, me and Jay-Z, we were just fucking chilling. Then Kanye comes in. I was doing this party, right? Kanye comes in, and I'm like, who's this nigga? And then they were like, hey, man, this guy can fucking rap with the best of them. And then I'm like, oh, let's sit there and put something together. Let's collab. And it's all big, like, name-droppy shit.
Yeah.
Makes him less funny. But I agree with you. Early days Jamie Foxx, fucking hysterical.
Oh, yeah, fucking oath. Well,
What do you think happened with the groundhog?
how about this?
Is this the one where it's like, I am your conscience?
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's play that when we come back. Let's go to a break, and we'll come back with I am your conscience. This is not going well.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later. Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Yes! Welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't forget, myspace.com. Check it out.
I am your conscience.
I am your conscience. So yeah, we're getting back to this because I thought
Maybe it's time we just say some nuts and wrap this thing
again,
up.
this goes to my argument that Chris Rock, the so-called fearless comedian, bitched out a little bit because in those. Could you imagine? Would Ricky Gervais have taken that?
Oh fuck no, Ricky Gervais.
Or would he have savaged him for the rest of the fucking night, like ripped his spine out with jokes? You know,
I think the difference as well, like the jokes Chris Rock was telling were very fucking tame. Like he's made a fucking. Even his reaction was like, it was a fucking G.I. Jane joke, dude. Like, calm the fuck down.
He even said it like that too. He's like, it was a G.I. Jane joke, dude. You know, it's like, you can't fucking believe why you're angry about it, you know.
Whereas Ricky Gervais is sitting there going, oh, we know that guy's a fucking cokehead, we know that guy's a pedophile. Like, I think Ricky would have been fucking savage, and that's why no one's gone up and slapped Ricky, because he would have been fucked up by plenty of comments he's made about celebrities. That's the whole point of comedians rocking up to Oscars and these kind of like events. Like, you're meant to rib on them, and everyone's meant to be lighthearted, a bit of a joke, and we move on. Like.
That's it. Well, and you know, the comedian's way, the way it's supposed to be, right? If you're in a space, Greeno, and your deal is making jokes about people, then you absolutely expect, you know, jokes to be made about you because that's the fucking game, is it not? You know what I mean? Will Smith has played like the funny man many a time in his career. You know, he wants to be seen as the jovial kind of funny dude, laid back, family man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so his reputation is tarnished, but also on the same side, Chris Rock is, like I keep going back to, Chris Rock's supposed to be the fearless fucking comedian. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's, you know, the Netflix fucking specials and, you know, the movie. I like Chris Rock. Don't get me wrong.
Ooh, yeah, very funny guy.
Very fucking funny guy. I love that. One of my favorite movies of his, I think it got terrible reviews, was the one he did with Sir Anthony Hopkins, where he plays like the dropkick brother of a CIA agent.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's quite good. It's a fun movie. He's like the identical twin of a CIA agent who gets killed, so he has to be trained up to go and do his job, basically.
Okay.
But Anthony Hopkins makes dumb premise, but you get Chris Rock and you know, Anthony Hopkins together in the same shot. All of a sudden, it's a fucking winner, Greeno. You know,
Nice, Gary.
it just seems to work. So I would have thought, you know, his reaction to that. He should have just thought it would have been the greatest moment in television history if he had a savage Will Smith. Because if I was Chris Rock, I would want Will Smith not burst into tears after he gets the Oscar, burst into tears right there and then in the fucking crowd with the whole world watching. Yeah, fuck him.
I want to see him and Jada crying simultaneously.
Absolutely, because he came up and he fronted you. And I would go, oh, okay, well, that was good. You know, nice try, old man, but, you know, you missed. But anyway. Yeah. And then you just start tearing fucking shreds off him, make the whole crowd laugh at him for what he did. Instead, what happened, Greeno? Afterwards, Will Smith gets up there, tears up on stage, and everyone gets around and pats him on the back and says, oh, you poor thing. You poor fucking man. So that's all Chris Rock's fault.
Nice,
If Chris Rock had savaged him and turned him into a mockery, as he should have done, because he does. And I love Will Smith. Everyone, it's very popular to bag Will Smith these days, and it has been for the last few years. But I keep coming back to, Greeno, I can never hate Will Smith, because for me, he was the Fresh Prince when I was a kid.
He's the Fresh Prince. Yeah,
that's exactly it. And he'll always be the Fresh Prince. And you know, I'll still listen to that CD with Getting Jiggy With It on it, and still tap my fucking foot.
Nice, Gary.
I will. I can't help
What's
it.
that one? You got Boom Shake the Room. Like I can't hate him,
the classics,
because you created Boom Shake the Room. You also got the Nod Your Head, Black Suits Coming. Nod Your Head.
I was kind of off his music.
I like that song, man. That's big fan of that song.
No, it's you know, he was popcorn. You know, he's done, but I like a lot of his movies as well. You know, so I'm never going to hate Will Smith, but he looked like a dickhead, and Chris Rock looked like a fucking soft cock. And everybody loses.
Nice, Gary.
Ironically, the person that looked like they had the most balls in that situation was the bald chick.
Well, yeah.
Ironically,
that's why she's going to be cast for G.I. Jane too, Greeno.
There we go. Should we have a look at this Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, let's. This is.
Is this going to get us pinned? Are we going to fucking get thrown off?
Oh, maybe. Does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. No, fuck it.
No, okay.
Just asking, just semantics.
Well, because when I saw the Will Smith thing for the first time, I was like, well, why didn't Chris Rock do this? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep this thing rolling. Another person that does not know anything about Emmett Smith, and you don't.
Now, it is a roast, so obviously the whole point is to make fun of people, right?
Yeah.
But watch Jamie Foxx. This is Doug Williams. This fucking ruined his career. He was finished after this.
Nobody knows me, and I'm the only broke motherfucker on this panel. Everybody else came here to roast Emmett Smith. I came to this motherfucker for a deal. That's what I'm looking for.
It's not funny yet.
I'd like to thank Shaq. Well, actually,
Shaq was there. Do we still have these things on TV, or is this now too offensive, Greeno?
I think it's too offensive now. I think like they used to, Comedy Central. I think they kind of outstayed their welcome. That was the problem. They ran out of people to roast. Like when you start, when you're getting to like your D-grade celebrities that you're roasting, then you're kind of like, let's wrap it up.
I remember they roasted Donald Trump, and at the time they said, well, this is the roasting of the D-grade celebrity, and he would later turn out to be president. And one of the people who was at his roasting him, Greeno, Snoop Dogg, who later released a film clip of him, shooting like a Trump character in the head in his song. There you go. But it's like, I love you, Donald. You a fucking pimp, daddy, yo. You're a motherfucker. You're my fucking nigga, yo. So
I was watching. It's WrestleMania week this week.
Oh, is that still a thing? WrestleMania is still going.
I know it still is, mate. Yeah.
Who are the big wrestlers now?
Probably people you don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's
Didn't Sting come back for a while?
He did different kind of competition though. He's not with WWE.
I remember Green. I remember La Parka was one of my favorites. I loved your Buff.
The chairman of WCW.
WCW. I loved your Buff Bagwell. Was one of my favorites.
Here's the stuff. You don't need to adjust your television.
I am this good. I still use that line to this day. You're such a fucking clown. Buff the stuff. I liked your Sting. I liked your Raven at first, but then he turned into too much of a moaner,
Yeah.
So I didn't like him anymore after
that. Was more the WCW side of things, though.
Well, that's all we had. You could get. We didn't get
WWE on free to air.
No.
Or Foxtel. We never really got it.
No, that's right. We got WCW in Australia for years and years. And later on, people used to talk about WWF. And I was like, to me, though, as being a kid who grew up with WCW, I was like, that's the shit that they talk at like old people are into, like with Hulk Hogan and stuff. I don't know what that is. And then Hulk Hogan turned up on WCW.
Nice, Gary!
Fair enough. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on over in the States. I had no idea. All we had was that, what was it? Was it Monday Nitro, wasn't it?
Yeah, Monday Nitro used to show it on Foxtel on TNT. So it'd be weird.
Yeah.
Because on Foxtel, they used to have, like, it was the old school of pay TV where it was all these different channels. And TNT would have nothing but, like, vintage 50s movies, right?
Yep.
All day, every day, until, like, Tuesday morning Australian time.
Hang on,
and then there'd just be 2 hours of wrestling.
Sorry to interrupt, Greeno. Daryl in the chat says, my favourite new ones are Goldberg and Edge. Now, hang on. I remember them from years ago. So they're the new guys now, are they? Goldberg and Edge. Will Stone Cold come back?
Yeah, Stone Cold's back for this WrestleMania.
Is he really?
So all three of those people now 50.
The Rock. Is The Rock coming back?
No, The Rock's not coming back, but his cousin is current WWE champion. There you go. His cousin is a fucking.
I love how
he's a legit wrestler.
I love how show business people unknowingly perpetuate stereotypes. Because here's Rocky the Pacific Islander. No, it's fine. My cousin gonna take care of it, mate.
He's got covered.
My cousin bro, he's gonna fucking take care, mate. It's fine. Don't worry about it, bro. Hey, bro, you want to be the wrestling champion, bro? Hey, I've got a fucking... Look, man, I'm going to be in Hollywood. I'm going to be doing a movie, but of my fucking cousin, bro, he's a good man. He'll fucking take care of the shit, mate.
Nice, Gary!
Fucking Rocky installing his cousin. Cuzzy bro is going to take care of the WWE. I love it.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
The point was, I was watching this doco throughout the week about the history of WrestleMania, and I forgot Donald Trump was in WrestleMania like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And back then...
He beat up Vince McMahon, did he not?
Shaved his head.
Shaved his head.
It was a hair versus hair match. Either Donald had to shave his head or Vince McMahon did.
Which shows one of two things, Greeno. Either Vince McMahon is an incredibly good sport, or Vince McMahon will literally humiliate himself for money. Like, so which one is it?
The latter. But everyone's sitting there going, "We love Donald, blah blah blah." Yeah. But this doco I was watching was recorded like 10 years ago, so it was funny how all the kind of like thoughts and processes had changed historically as years gone by. To get back to your Trump point, once again, we've wasted a whole other segment distracted and haven't even started the show
this
again.
Is good. The show should technically be over now because we've been going for about an hour. So
our show hasn't gone for an hour since we're recording in your house, and we had to do a hard hour because you had to go to work.
Had to go to work.
Right,
straight
I'd rock up after my job, go to your studio, we'd record.
Dude, you're not even including. Hour. Give me credit, Greeno. You're not even including all those years where I would rock up at the actual radio station studio in my work uniform. In my fucking, believe it or not, folks, in my work uniform, and then immediately after the show, I'd be like, all right, see ya, and then go and work like a 14-hour shift or something.
14-hour shift, correct.
So those were the good old days, Greeno.
Nice, Gary.
Now we only have to phone it in, and I'm not going anywhere. I got nothing to do. We may as well hold up.
We waste an hour and a half to 2 hours of people's time every Friday night.
That's right. But now we're wasting it the proper way, talking about bullshit. Can we have a look at just continue on with this thing here? Mm-hmm. I love that Shaq is there, and I was asking before, Greeno, do we don't do the roasts anymore because they're too risque, are they, or? Is that why?
I think it's just a tired format. It's not funny anymore.
Stale.
There's only so many of these like roast jokes you can make.
Well, hang on. Is it not funny because it's not socially acceptable to make the kinds of jokes anymore? Like, I think of one.
I just think it's not funny.
Well, I don't know because but comedians don't take risks anymore either. You know what I mean?
Some do.
A roast should be understood as like. It's a green light to attack everything, It's
everything, yeah, exactly.
Every sacred cow. But I just wonder if comedy has sunk so low these days, and comedians are so afraid that it's just the reason it's not a thing anymore. It's because, well, how can they possibly get up there and make very, 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 very offensive personal jokes about people without there being a shitstorm? The sponsors don't want it. The carriers don't want it. It's not worth the outrage. It'll cost them money because of the fucking Twitter mobs. Like, it's not worth it. So they just don't do it anymore. I tend to think it's a bit of that. And comedians have lost their balls too.
100%. You make a very fair point. I was talking with the wife last night, and for years, like for a long fucking time, one of my dreams has been to go and spend the entire time of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival just down in Melbourne and just fucking watch as many shows as I can, right? Like just spend, I think it goes for 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
Just fucking spend 3 weeks in Melbourne and just do nothing but hit comedy shows every night. And
just
not like the big name ones.
Get yourself a little room near the laneway somewhere, and just go
have
around the
nice
little haunts in alleyways.
Yeah. Some nice food. Just fucking go watch some comedy for a couple of like every single night during the day. If there's an early show, we'll just smash out a lot of comedy.
Yep.
But I said, I'm like, look, I still want to do this, but I'm like, I don't find comedians funny anymore. Like, it sounds really weird.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when the International Comedy Festival, they'd show like the Oxfam festival where it's like everyone gets like a 4-minute slot, and they used to put it on Channel 10 or Channel 7.
Yeah, it's a bit like Just for Laughs.
Yeah, that was basically what it was.
Yeah, but a fundraiser.
And that used to be the best thing. I remember I used to tape it on VHS. I'd sit back and I'd watch it for years on end because it was fucking hysterical. It was like the best of the best. Comedians come out and they'd smash it. I watched 10 minutes of it last night.
It's garbage.
And I was like, oh my, I didn't even like chuckle.
I know.
At any point. And I'm like, if this is the best of the best, I'm not going to fucking waste 3 weeks in Melbourne watching a comedy festival if this is what they consider funny. Comedy has just been, I don't know, for me anyway, it's been real. Maybe I'm just old and bitter.
No, you're not.
I don't find it funny anymore. But
no, you're not. It's not like that because the culture has shifted so far from. It's different. It's not like the music thing is often used as an example for generation gaps.
Doesn't like new music, correct?
Exactly, but I don't think I don't think that rule applies to comedy because comedy is always like an indicator of how far people are willing to go in terms of like pushing the limits of what's okay. And, you know, I know it sounds like a wanky thing to say, but it's kind of true. You know, like the comedians have to have the guts to, you know, take the risks and say the lines that pop into their heads. Otherwise, the minute they start self-censoring, then they're kind of like, they're dummy crashing their art into a fucking wall, if that makes it. Like, the minute you think about it, it's already over, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're self-editing. The things that you'd normally have to fight for in a movie where you're like, the censor's trying to stop me from saying what I wrote in a script is a funny line,
right,
is what is happening in comedy.
Yeah.
Where stand-up comedy used to be the bastion of say whatever the fuck you want. At stand-up comedy, you guys are getting paid like a door fee and shit.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want. Now there's the internet and there's outrage culture, et cetera, and it's kind of ruined that aspect where things that historically may have been funny is like, well, we can't say that because that might offend, you know, X percentage of this thing. Well, was the line funny? Yes. Well, fucking just say the line. Like,
right. Well, and see, so the culture has shifted so far though that it's restricted our the language of comedy now. Because you and I often make jokes about Eddie Murphy comedy in the 80s, faggots and niggers, niggers and faggots.
Faggots and niggers and faggots, yeah.
Right? That was his whole act was, you know, niggers and faggots, faggots and niggers, dick sucking faggots, fucking niggers. Like, that was his act, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, now it's just, it cannot be that way. It's not allowed to be that way. And so the funniest people I've always found, and maybe this is just me, I've always found the funniest people in a stand-up comedy sense are the ones who are the most natural. Like, they're just naturally funny people and they're not necessarily doing an act. You know
100% agree. But the thing with Eddie Murphy is what made him funny wasn't the fact he was saying faggots and niggers, niggers and faggots.
No.
It was the story that happened to use those words.
Yeah, definitely. Sure, definitely. But it was the attitude and the flair is all part of
yeah, it was the bravado. It was just an uncensored version of like, hey man, me and my fucking bro rugged in, and this fucking nigga was here, and I said, like, fucking get away from me. Like, that is what,
right?
That was a natural conversation that happened in the 80s.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
right.
now you can't have a natural conversation because
exactly.
Like, we can't say that word, we can't do this, we can't say that.
Exactly. So how can you be funny like you used to be if the language that you're using as a comedian is not as, you know, expansive as it used to be?
Like, I think you can still be fucking funny and have clean jokes.
Of course. There are comedians there, but I think even there's special comedians who are funny and clean, you know. Like, people bag Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld, I went to one of his, he's always been clean. I went to one of his live gigs. I've told you the story many times, Greeno, and I thought I was going to die laughing. There was like a 10,000 crowd in this stadium. Like, it was waves of like hysterical laughter. He kept everyone, it was laughing, Greeno, constant tears, ribs, sore fucking jaw from laughing for 90 straight minutes. He was fucking hilarious. And not once did he mention politics. Because this was in the Trump era.
No swear words.
No, didn't mention fucking politics at all.
It was pre-Trump.
It was so refreshing. No, but it was right on. No, Green. It was right on the edge. It was at the time when all the news was like, fucking politics, Trump is a Nazi. That was all happening. And I remember saying to my wife on the night, like, oh, Christ, I hope he doesn't fucking talk about politics and shit. I hope he doesn't.
He never does. He never does.
He never does. And he didn't. And he didn't have to. He didn't even fucking swear, you know. But again, he probably swears a lot. I don't know. But Jerry Seinfeld doesn't act though, you know.
No, he does comedy.
Yeah, he does a comedy act. He's an old school. He's an old school pro. Like, that's his routine. That's his shtick. That's his persona. That's what he does. Whereas, like, Eddie Murphy is funny because he's just funny. Eddie's funny because he's just funny. Eddie's funny just talking, you know?
Yeah.
He's not, he doesn't have to do an act or anything. But again, like, you can't have these
natural
comedians.
Can say as part of his natural conversation. Whereas I think for the most part, Jerry Seinfeld, you watch him in that comedians in cars having coffee. His natural conversation is not baggers and niggers, baggers. No. He's witty. He's very charming.
Yeah.
He can be like, no, man, you're a fucking idiot. Like, there's a lot of those episodes where he's like, no, like, it's just real cold, like, sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's not trying to appease anyone.
No.
That's just his general personality. Like, Jerry Seinfeld as a person, it could be construed in the current environment as like a creep because he dates a lot of fucking younger women, right? Didn't he marry a girl who's like 30, 40 years younger? Like really fucking young chick.
I remember he dated a chick when she was quite young, but then I think he's been married for a while and he's got kids.
He has, but like his wife, quite young. Okay. But once again, there's nothing.
I don't really get into the personal lives.
That's the thing.
There's nothing. Stuff,
there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
But in today's day and age, that would paint Jerry Seinfeld as a bad guy.
Probably.
Even though he doesn't say anything overly offensive, but it's like, oh, Jerry the creep only dates younger. Like fucking.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Hollywood. Like that's how fucking life works. You know. What I mean?
I take a similar attitude when people because there's always something bad about anybody you like. Right.
No one is fucking perfect. Like we can pick. You're 100% right, sir.
So it doesn't matter who you say, but especially on the internet, it doesn't matter who you talk about. Like, let's just say you love fucking Tim Tebow, Greeno. Yeah. Trust me, there's millions of people who are going to attack you for loving Tim Tebow.
Fuck him. No, fuck him. He's a fucking.
What, you like Tim? You fucking maniac. It doesn't matter who. There's always someone.
Hasn't been good since the Gators. Like
that's it.
Now they're all.
That's it. So it doesn't matter who you like. Trust me, there's millions of people who don't
everyone
like
hates everyone. Like that's fucking
everyone
right.
hates everyone. That's a nice Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Everyone hates everyone is a beautiful attitude.
It's how life works, unfortunately.
Should we watch a bit of this? Because I really want to watch this.
Started literally fucking 31 minutes ago.
Yeah. So Jamie Foxx savaging this Doug Williams guy. In a
I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Have we literally done 31 minutes of this segment without starting the segment yet?
Yeah. Well, we do have Shaq on the screen though. So
we paused on Shaq, but we've done 31 minutes of nothing that has relation to a show.
No.
And we still haven't got to the start of the segment.
This is the best show we've ever done, Greeno.
I am your conscience.
I am your conscience.
Hurry the fuck up with the rundown. Yeah. Let's get to the next fucking segment.
Yeah. No, fuck the rundown. We can end it now if you want. I don't care. We've done a show. We've done over an hour. Fuck that. We've got to get out of this rundown mentality, Greeno. It's old school.
We haven't even started the rundown, sir.
Greeno, rundowns is old school. It's radio thinking. You've got to break out of that fucking prison, my man. This is the internet. You don't do a fucking rundown. It's not a radio show.
We've been going for an hour. We're still at point one.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But you're saying I need to just fucking stop worrying about the rundown. I'd never worry about the rundown. We never get through it.
Okay.
But I like to have it there as a backup. Anyway, let's look at this. Okay. I am your conscience. Let's fucking play the clip.
You know what's fun? I don't want to interrupt the clip, Greeno, but you know what's funny about the clip?
Are you doing a show tomorrow?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
I'm going to fucking come on your show, and I'm just going to sit there and fucking
You want to come on? I'll have you on. I want you on. I want you to come on my show. We'll have fun. I've got good stories. I've got stories about that we can't wait to stick needles into literal newborns.
I saw that.
COVID stories.
I know. What time you got out? It depends when I'm back. I got shit to do in the morning.
I'll be on at 9 a.m. And I'm only doing like a 2-hour thing. But if you get in at like 10, you can jump on at 10 if you want.
I might jump on. I'll see how I go. If I get back, I'll jump on.
All right. Text me. Let me know where you're at. And then I'll jump in Discord and you can jump on. You know, my favorite story I saw last week, Greeno, was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar accusing Will Smith of perpetuating black stereotypes.
I did see that. I saw that.
I liked it. I liked it and retweeted
I would have seen it.
Greeno, I liked it and retweeted it and swear to God, at least like half a dozen people instantly unfollowed me. Because I love doing shit like, because they think when I do shit like, I'm retweeting it so you see it. Like, you know, so if you happen to have a Twitter account and you know, I don't know if you follow that or not, you might see it and get a laugh. I got a kick out of it. I got a laugh out of it. You know, read between the lines, guys.
Funny,
That's right. Yeah, read between the fucking lines, you know. And so people are like, oh, fuck, he must fucking love Will Smith. And it's like, I don't know what you people are angry at anymore.
No,
you know what I mean? People are fucking nuts out there. So, yeah, I thought it was nice because, you know, Will, let's be honest here, Greeno, you know, we're not perpetuating any stereotypes. We love Shaq. And this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's advice, not mine. But, you know, Will Smith, you know, he did have a black guy moment, didn't he? You know, he lashed out physically when somebody hurt his feelings and basically like, don't touch my fucking woman. You know, he had a black guy moment.
Nice,
Well, that said,
it happens to all of us. Don't worry.
He did it in the whitest possible black guy way.
He did. That's a nice Gary there.
Like,
it was a very white, white guy. It was a white
Black guy
guy friendly black
much
guy.
like his
moment.
rap. Like it's a white black guy kind of mix. Like I could go up.
It was the kind of black guy moment a white guy can envisage himself having.
Exactly. I would have gone up and slapped him. Like, yeah, I would have. Yeah, but the real fucking
Get
gangster
my
man would
wife's
have fucking
name out your fucking mouth.
yeah. Like there would have been fucking Glocks involved, if in theory. We would have seen the brothers come in.
Yes.
Like shit could have got fucking real, man. But we'll just gone. Yeah, bit of a bitch slap.
Jim Greeno, Jim in the chat saying you guys are perpetuating Australian stereotypes.
What are we perpetuating? What are we perpetuating there, Jim? I'm intrigued.
Give us a stereotype, Jim. What are you thinking about?
Boganish, bit boganish.
Yep.
I'll pay that. That's fair enough.
Jim. So, Jim, tell us more about these Australian stereotypes.
Because we're convicted.
Yeah.
We can't.
All right,
that's enough.
All right, let's have a look at this Jamie Foxx thing. Yeah. Because just before we get to the video, Greeno.
I could have fucking quoted the whole video by now.
Yeah.
And moved on from this clip.
Well, it's not about ticking things off.
35 minutes. No, we've got to tick shit off, mate. It's budget week.
No. We're not ticking anything off. We're not ticking anything off. We're enjoying the fucking ride, Greeno. That's what it's about.
Budget week.
That's what makes a good show. A good show is about enjoying the fucking ride. Okay, we're not actioning items. Okay, we're not ticking things off. We're just enjoying the ride.
It's end of month, so it's end of first quarter. We got to progress.
Greeno, I was just thinking just before we get to the clip that Shaq is a fucking funny motherfucker. I think I love Shaq. Yeah, I love Shaq. Shaq doesn't give a fuck. He says what he thinks. He's been in the shit heaps of times on ESPN for just saying stuff.
No, you're thinking of Sir Chuck.
No, Charles has done it as well. Shaq's in a similar vein. Shaq doesn't care. He said shit before.
No, Shaq is kind of like the mini-me of Sir Chuck when it comes to those. He occasionally says something. He says something stupid, not like honest, if you know what I mean. Like Shaq's not a fucking very intelligent dude. He's a big bastard.
No, but he's a nice guy though. He's a charming guy. I don't think he's dishonest. I think he might be a bit dull, but
he's a bit dull. That's the problem. He says things.
He's a nice guy though. I like him. You don't like Shaq. That's what's wild. I never knew that.
No, it's not that I don't like Shaq. I don't like him as a commentator. I think because he's a mobile.
Yeah. Have you seen the ads he does for Sportsbet?
Yeah, I've seen fucking all the ads, mate.
Sportsbet or what's the?
No,
name?
it's not Sportsbet. It's Nads, I think.
What is it?
Nads. It's one of the fucking like shonky gambling company. Shaq will promote. Look up Shaq endorsements. The fucker has like endorsements out the ass.
Oh yeah, he's like Krusty the Clown.
Yeah, like he's the basketball version of Krusty. You are 100% right. Give yourself a nice Gary for that joke. that deserved more credit than me talking over the top of it, because he is the Krusty the Clown of NBA endorsements. Like, hey, we're going to talk Krusty. Like,
the Krusty the Clown home pregnancy test, Greeno, was one of them. All right, here's a bit of Shaq. Here's a bit of Shaq's work. Here's a bit of Shaq's work in the Australian market. Now, what you have to understand, my American brothers and sisters, and Greeno, and BE is in the chat, Greeno. PointsBet, BE's fucking jet, Greeno. BE's a fucking
PointsBet, that's what BE. I paid no attention because I'm doing this point in the show. How are we traveling with the Panthers multi, sir? Put it in the chat.
Let us know how you're going with the Panthers multi.
Yeah.
So PointsBet. So this is some of Shaq's finest work. Advertising. Now, what you have to understand for our American brothers and sisters, Greeno, is the gambling market it's a hot market in Australia, and it always
it's a hotbed. Yeah. Like once again, the convict nature of our country is like, fucking, we want to piss away some money. How quickly can we do it?
You guys might have guns. You guys might have guns, Greeno. The Americans might have guns, but they still like. Prostitution is still illegal, and they still ban gambling and shit. It's like, hang on a minute, what are you doing? What
fucking
the
back
fuck?
shit up? Like, right. You can't put down pussy in a bet. Like it's no good.
That's right. Look, in this country, we can fuck a hooker and place a bet. Right. The only thing we can't do is shoot her, Greeno, and
Nice, I think, like in the logical scheme of life, I think we've got the best of the ideas here. I'd rather put the gun down, get the pussy, and have a bet than vice versa.
Don't you think we should recycle out the old hookers, though, Greeno?
There's different ways to do so.
Oh, okay. We don't have to shoot them.
No, we don't have to shoot them. We can find other ways. We'll be all good.
All right, here's Shaq, the man, the monster, the myth, the man, the legend. Let's have a look. This is an ad
Ever
for...
since I retired from basketball, I've never been busier.
Because he's got 400 ads to it.
There's a lot you can do.
Now, that chick there is Spiranovich, I think her name is. Now, she does... Paige, what is it?
Paige Spirit, yeah.
Something like that. Maybe not Spiranovich, but something similar to it. She's got a Yugoslav name, Greeno. So she does all of the PointsBet, like little promo tweets that they send out, like all of the little videos. And
Paige Spiranak.
Spiranak. Okay, Paige Spiranak. She seems like a good sport because she's done like Howard Stern level of PointsBet promos where shit like how many hot dogs can I eat in 90 seconds?
Nice,
well, here's a bit of backstory about Paige Spiranak, right?
Okay.
She's actually a fucking very talented women's golfer.
Oh, right.
She's like top 10 in the world if the playing field was level.
Yep.
Now, what actually happened is she was revolted against by the LPGA because of her assets, and they're like, "Hang on, we don't want fucking someone like someone like this.
She's too hot."
Well, basically, she exposed, like, she gets her boobs out to promote, like, herself in the sport.
Right.
And so then the LPGA got all offended by that, and that became a problem for them. So then PointsBet hired her, and now she's got one of the most popular Twitter accounts, and PointsBet is fucking makes it work.
Good on you.
And she sits there, and you're right, she does, like, those, like, she plays on her looks.
Yeah.
She's fucking an amazing golfer.
But in a funny way. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's either, it's like Howard Stern level of, like, cheesiness. Like, she's, hey, guys, I'm going to eat these hot dogs, and then we're going to talk about what you should put your money on, you know?
Nice, Gary.
So I did not know the backstory. Yeah, fucking oath, good on her. And so what the ladies golf tour basically treating her like a black person in the 50s, Greeno, you know?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, well, this chick's too hot for golf, so we don't want to
cover up. We want you to cover up.
So it's kind of like the Anna Kournikova method of like tennis, where it's like pretty much all female women's tennis players are like a 6, but then Anna comes along and she's like a 9.
Yeah.
Similar with LPGA, they're more like 3s and 4s.
Well, was Anna a 9, or was she a 9 compared to the 6s?
Well, she's a 9 in general.
Okay, so you reckon a 9 outside of tennis? Anna was a 9.
Yeah,
that's high praise of Anna.
Yeah, she's 8 or 9.
Part of me thinks that she was only the hot tennis player because tennis players at the time were fucking, Lindsay Davenport and Martina Navratilova.
That's the same. Like, yeah, they were more out of the 4 or 5. Similar with LPGA, whereas Spiranek is literally like she's a 9 or 10 regardless of fucking comparatives. Yeah. So they were kind of a little bit put off by that. Is my theory. So they didn't like it, but yeah, she's a good tennis player.
Well, I guess
my apologies.
Well, you know what? I'm probably being a bit hypocritical because, for example, like Test cricket. I'm of them. Like, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Test cricket. I like the traditions. I don't like the cameras being in the dressing rooms and shit, or just following around. Or the same with the football. I don't like the modern take on content and stuff. I liked it better when we didn't know what every fucking player was doing Monday to Friday. I don't care. Go out there, get drunk, fuck your brains out. I don't care, man. Just play good footy on the weekend. That's all I care about. Yeah. And similar with other people. So yeah. I feel like a bit of a hypocrite because let's say that somebody was pissing on the traditions of like Test cricket. Would I be somebody who would be like, kick them out of the game, get them out of the game, they're ruining the sport? Or would I be somebody who thinks, they're just expressing themselves and fuck tradition? Because maybe I'm not so emotionally invested in ladies golf, and I'll put my hand on my heart and admit I'm fucking not. Right? I don't really care about ladies golf. But were the LPGA, taking the devil's advocate view here, were they protecting the tradition of their sport or the integrity of their sport? Is that what they thought they were doing? Or
no, I just think a whole bunch of the chicks on the tour were pissed off and they were like, no, fuck it, let's just treat her poorly. She still plays, like,
okay, Does she
She's
win
still in
stuff?
there. Let's have a look here.
Greeno, Penrith got up.
Nice.
They
Okay.
covered the spread, Greeno.
Excellent. Well, this is a nice little fucking story time. So,
How much did you have on that one, on that multi?
well, it's not about that. So, quick story time. Hit the
Okay,
button.
little story.
I like stories about pinatas.
So, myself, the Unity Day Troy, and the Earth Reporter BE have got like this little bet with mates account, right? We don't fucking bet a huge amount. We each chipped in 50, and we were kind of like, we chipped in $10, put on some random bets, and hope for the best. More of a bit of a social thing, a bit of fun, and bullshit about sport, right?
Nice.
So we have sucked for fucking so long, but we've had nothing but brutal losses. So all the bets we put on, like it's like one leg losses where the losing leg is $1.12.
Oh, shit.
So, and that has happened, I shit you not, like 30 times.
Yeah, but that's the shit that mentally fucks with you, because the next time you go to lock in a $1.12 lock, and it should be, because most, 88% of the time that $1.12 is going to win,
Correct.
So you should be locking in that fucking $1.12 as your safety multi-builder to get your odds up. I like it, those increment fucking favorites as well. Like just throw a couple of favorites in there just to build it up another kind of,
Build it up. Yeah, that's what you do, right?
0.5,
Like, don't go fucking too crazy. We're not trying to
No.
make $1 billion. We're just trying to make enough money to cover the next few bets, and you build up, you win a few in a row, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now we've been doing this for how long? Are we doing this for BE? About 8 months now. This with that Penrith win, that is the first. So what we do is we rotate the bets. So one person bets each day, and we put $10 on, and we hope for the best. This is the first time in about 9 months that we've won 3 straight bets. So we've had
Nice, Gary.
Troy, me, and myself all finally win. Now, with that said, my win today, I split my money. So I had like a bet that was paying a bit more for $5, and then I was paying a safety bet, which was still going to make our money back in a small profit.
Yes.
As the second bet. Now, we lost the first bet.
Your little safety bet, your little banker. Yeah. Good, it's good to have a little banker riding in the background, parlay it a little bit, spread it
Exactly.
out.
Just so we still make some money, don't lose our original investment. So Penrith was our safety bet, like that, and 2 other legs was our safety bet. So we still won like $3 for the day.
Right.
But the original one lost because a $1.12 Philly lost to Detroit, who's only won like 10 games in the NBA.
Oh, fuck.
But we won 3 in a row. So fucking happy days. Let's give the fucking bet with mates a nice Gary.
Nice
Because we
Gary.
finally got 3 wins in a row, which has never happened. And we'll go back to our losing ways next week.
Okay. Well, speaking of losing ways and betting, here's Shaq's commercial for a points bet.
Ever since I retired from basketball, I've never been
All
busier.
right, could you pause this for a moment?
Yeah, please. Do you want to interrupt the video? Or?
I just want to interrupt the video. Now, quick get back. Now, I just want to make sure with what's happening in the NFL, did we check that Shaq's massage was consensual?
King, here's a question for you. Is anything with Shaq consensual? or does Shaq just tell you what he wants? I mean, look at little Paige here. Now, Shaq. Now, if Shaq wanted to, go deep on a par 5, say, Greeno.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once he was, on the short stuff, try out his short game.
Hoping for a hole in one.
Hoping for a hole, or at least to tickle the edge, if you can get that close, Greeno. Now, let's just say, now, would Paige be in a position here to refuse him? Like, let's be honest. He is 7 foot tall.
Nice, Gary.
Okay. So I think she might be in a little bit of trouble. But anyway.
So you're saying, like, let's put it out there, if Shaq, per se, was worried his ball was going to end up in the wet.
Yes. Well,
like, could there be issues involved potentially?
There could potentially be issues, Greeno. Of course, if you do retrieve a ball from the wet, you have to understand them. You may have to pay. There might be a penalty.
Might be a penalty, and that's potentially what him and Deshaun Watson could be facing if there's inappropriate. And also,
you might
there could
get
be a
dropped,
penalty.
Greeno.
Inappropriate dropping of the ball, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Let's carry on.
Nice, Gary.
Would you polish the head of your club before you laid the boot in, or?
Look, it's probably good to have a cover, just for the traditions.
Yeah.
Of golf. Got to cover your woods.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've got to protect, and tradition is everything, isn't it, when it comes to sport, Greeno? It's very
correct.
important. Yeah.
Are we still in segment 2?
Yeah. Well, here's Shaq grooming a dog, incidentally. But notice the horse racing on the television.
I am your conscience. Are we still doing this segment?
Oh yeah, we're still doing that segment too. So notice in the corner here, Greeno, the horse racing on television, which is a nice touch, isn't it, for the PointsBet app? So
You can do in a few seconds, even with just one hand. 350-yard bomb. And just loaded up on the pies tonight. I just backed the one dog in the next at Dapjo.
He will do anything for $1, won't he?
He would do anything. During the next ad break, ironically, I'm going to look up all of Zach. We should probably take one at some point. We have been going for an hour and a half.
All right, we can take one.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back with all the Shaq's
Well, we don't have to take it now. We can take it whenever you want.
I'm not saying now, but I'm saying like Shaq's endorsement list.
Yeah.
Let's do Shaq's endorsement list 2021.
Shaq's endorsement list, yes.
Wait, hang on. Here's
it's
the
a long fucking list. Let's be honest, man.
No, here's the thing.
It's a long list.
Top 50 Shaq endorsements, which means he's got more than 50.
Oh my god.
This is back in 2015. Fuck it.
Can you imagine how bad it is in 2022? How many endorsements he's had since 2015, did you say? Holy shit.
2015. All right, let's have a look here. All right. So this is literally, I'm gonna rapid fire this fucker.
Okay.
This is in 2015. This is his top 50. So this is not limited to what he's got. This is just the 50 best of what Shaq endorsed in 2015.
The top 50. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to rattle off quickly. Sleep apnea mask, 50. 49, power balance bracelet. 48, IGO headphones. 47, Suster sugar substitute. 46, quick sticks glucose. 45, snap app. 44, Apollo jets. 43, insulin diet strips. 42,
Okay. You know what, Greeno? I'm going to stop you there. That's enough.
Nice, Gary.
Okay. We collectively cannot sit through 50 of them. Okay. So you got 8. You got 8 out. I think that's enough. Okay, we get the point.
No, wait, 30 muscle milk. I'll see what else is good. Muscle milk. No, it's boring. Dove for men at 24.
What for men?
Dove for men.
Dove for soap.
So you know, like the female deodorant? Yeah, he's got it for men. He's a big fan of vitamin water. He's got his own vodka. Shaq Fu apparently is a brand. And then Burger King.
You know who I would really like to meet, Greeno? I would love to meet the guy who thought. Well, I assume it's a guy. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's my own bias creeping in. But I would like to meet the person who came up with the idea of marketing men's razor blades like women's razor blades, because I think that would be one of the smartest people in the world.
That dude's a fucking genius, because I use women's razor. It's a skinhead. Yeah. I use women's razor. You got me onto it.
No. Well, see, that's not the same thing. So what?
Different.
Oh no, I've been using the women's razors to shave my head for fucking 20 years. And the reason being is, what I'm talking about is the way they advertise men's razors.
Oh, okay.
They treat them and they have a range of men's razors now. No, men don't need a range. You know what I mean? Men will just buy the cheap thing in the big bag men will they'll get used to something and that's what they'll use, right? Whereas women are much more prone to picking the thing that feels better and works best. Whereas men, we're loyal to a thing just because that's what we've always used. That's the way we kind of address it. So I've been using the women's razors for shaving my head for fucking 20 years because they have better quality steel in them.
Better quality steel and better lubricant.
That's right, because it's for your legs in your vag, right?
Well, I first shaved my dome with a man's triple blade.
Tore the shit out of you, didn't it?
Tore the fucking shit out of my head. And you're like, great, you got to do it. You got to do it with a women's razor. I'm like, you serious? And you're like, try it and get back to me. And I tried it once. I'm like, mate, you're a fucking genius.
I know. You're not the first. You're not the only one that I've converted to the women's razor, Greeno. Trust me. It's a real thing, guys. If you're out there, if you're not shaving with the women's razor, you're a fucking idiot.
You're doing it wrong.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Smooth as fuck.
That's right. But instead, they're going to sell you the subpar, shitty quality men's razor, but pretend like it's a women's one by saying you can look fresh like a man.
No, man, it's not fucking not as soft as a fucking women's razor. Like, hack up your head, fucking use the men's razor and pay double the price.
That's right.
Use your brain, use the women's razor, and fucking go nuts.
That's it. And then you can, and then I wouldn't go so far as to share razors, Green. Are you a share razor guy? No, I have my own separate stash.
Not a share razor.
Yeah.
I got my own razor. I buy two separate. I've got my own thing up on the cupboard. The wife's got her own thing in the shower. It's different. They're separate fucking razors.
Very separate. Yeah.
Yeah. As far away as humanly possible in the bathroom.
You can share the same brand, but not the same razor.
No, the brand is fine, but you're gonna have, and we've got different colors as well. Like,
that's right. You have the yellow ones, I'll have the pink ones.
Just to make sure there's no confusion between what's going on between my head and the lady's body. You've got to fucking no mixing up.
No, that's right.
She's gonna purr like a kid.
Oh, let's pause that for a second. Did fucking Shaq just do a glory to South Sydney?
He did, yeah.
I never miss having a bet on Friday Night Footy. Sunday football, 10 legs, same game multi. Just
you know, I've pitched this to you for years, Greeno, a show just about punting.
Yeah.
I've constantly pitched this to you. Like, let's just do a show about fucking putting bets on. Like, let's just talk about what the bets we put on, what we thought about it, like why we put the bet on, like that kind of a show, and then talk about odds and shit and what we're going to bet on next week. I reckon that would be a killer show. But we've never done it, but I've been chipping away at Greeno for all these years. But it's not really about losing. I just reckon it's a fun premise because you're talking about victory and defeat and winning and losing, and there's adulation and suffering, but it's more
suffering than adulation.
But it's all done. But it's all done with a pittance. Put a $10 bet on, and I'll talk about it. It was like, well, I thought this guy, he was going to have a good game, but then he didn't. I reckon it's a killer idea. But anyway,
you want to waste more people's time than we do on this show already. But talking about bets that didn't get up. Why we thought
bad in poker they call them in poker they call them bad beats, Greeno. Doesn't it look like Shaq's talking to you through a toilet here?
I am laughing at that joke. I'm coughing simultaneously. He does look like he's in a toilet.
He does look like he's in a toilet.
Shaq is middle of Om.
Shaquille O'Neal.
He's middle of Om on a Zambuca kind of bender in this particular picture.
Yeah, his eyes are very red too. Do you reckon he was blunting one up out the front, Greeno?
Oh, he's munted at that point.
Munted.
He's like, let's just get this out of the way, shall we? No, the trick with the Shaq impression, you're going to make sure you don't move the bottom lip as much as you got to make sure the bottom lip just covers up the top of it as much as possible. You just mumble. So it's kind of like a Kimmy impression, but you got to make it more nonsensical and Kimmy because that's what fucking Shaq does on NBA halftime. Like, it's fucking brutal. He should not be an analyst. Like, a great basketball player, terrible fucking commentator. If anyone is buying stuff off Shaq, like what do we say, Shaq water and all that whole kind of horse shit?
Yes.
You're a fucking moron. If you want to buy shit off this guy, like, come on. Like, let's fucking use our brains here. Like, oh, fucking Shaq endorses it? No, Shaq endorses it because he gets a big fat paycheck. You're the stupid moron that's paying for Shaq's paycheck.
Well, is points bet any good? I've never used them. I don't know.
Never used it. I've got one account. I'm not fucking dealing with multiple accounts. I deal with one and I move on.
Oh, look, I've only messed with TAB and Sportsbet, and those are the two. Those are the only two that I've banked with. Because TAB, it's like the big regulated one. It's the big approved one. So obviously, it's like the Medicare version of betting, right? Yeah. But everyone's got access to TAB, so you just have an account, even if you don't need one. Yeah. So, fair enough. And then Sportsbet's the one for, when you look for a little bit more juice, because TAB doesn't give you as good odds. TAB is more for horses and dogs and shit, and I don't mess with the animals,
No, too much variables. I bet on B's horses all the time, and fucking, I think I've won like nothing.
No, he's had a fair few winners. BE.
No, he hasn't. Well, not when you bet on all of them.
Oh well, I don't know. I just see. I've tried to get into horses and dogs, but it's too much work. I can't follow the trainers. I can't follow the horses. I can't do it. It's too much.
I follow the numbers. Like, I try to follow the numbers as best as I can, but at the same time, like, it's just a fucking crapshoot when it comes to horses. Like, not worth the effort.
Yeah, the doggies I'll have a bet on, like, because BE said, on the dish lickers, I'll have a bet on the dish lickers, but it's going to be if I'm at the pub and I'm just like, I'll just throw 50 on it because I like its name kind of thing.
50 on it? Jesus, dude.
If you're having a night out or something, you know what I mean? Well, it's either that or 50. I'd rather spend 50 on a dog than 50 in the pokies in person.
Oh, no, I wouldn't put 50 in the pokies either.
Right. So no, I'm saying like that's when I would bet is if I was like I'm out and I'm having a drink, I'm at the pub and they've got the the little tab thing at the pub, the little window. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll have a flutter. I'll throw 50 on this dog because I like its name. And if it places,
wouldn't you
then
rather
it
spread
does.
that 50 though? And you go like, oh well, I got 25 $2 bets here, and fucking.
I would, I would, but I wouldn't do it for the dogs. What I'm saying is the only time I would bet on animals like horses and dogs is if I'm at the pub and I'm jovial and I'm like, you know what, just throw 50 on it. Who cares? And it's a one-time thing, It'll be like that one bet, and I'm like, all right, well, that's my fucking dog racing done for another year. It's like I Melbourne Cup it with horses and dogs because it's too hard to follow, man. Like I listen every now and then, like on the weekend, I'll throw the radio on and they have, the like horse racing shows and dog racing shows on sports radio that they have, Greeno, from time to time. And I'll tune in. They're like, yeah, well, I saw this horse run fucking 3 weeks ago around Rose Hill and it was good. It come on strong. It's got this good trainer. They're on a training regime. I'm thinking, where do you guys get this from? Like,
this is a random bloke who's called in.
He
knows fucking nothing. Like,
but that's the thing. Like, to be good at horse racing gambling, right? You literally have to be at the track at 5 a.m. watching the fucking horses and shit running around. It's too much. And,
but even then, like, it's still luck of the draw because if someone gets fucking close to the rail and boxed in, the horse is fucked. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's why I prefer. This has turned into a fucking massive betting segment, but that's why I prefer sport over the horses. I feel like there's more normalcy in what kind of occurs in a sport compared to, say, a horse race or a dog race, etc.
Right. And it lasts longer as well. If you're betting for the experience, then at least a sport lasts longer. Like, I don't begrudge anyone like getting involved in horses or betting on horses. I just can't do. I can't do it because it's like tracking too many fucking moving parts. There's too many horses. There's too many trainers. There's too many races. There's a race every fucking 4 minutes, Greeno.
4 minutes. And if you go to shout in, fucking there's a race every 35 seconds. Like,
that's it. I can't follow something like that intense because I'll have to quit my job. I'll just do it full time, and I can't do that.
The wife and I did this thing, quick story time.
I like stories about pinatas.
About a month and a half back, the wife and I just fucking could not deal with the kids anymore. We're like, we are literally going to fucking lock ourselves in the bedroom. The kids cannot annoy us for like 45 minutes.
Can I just interrupt your story for a minute?
I like stories about pinatas.
And give you a nice Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Because I like that you offered to lock yourselves in the bedroom instead of the children. So
nice,
Gary.
I like stories about pinatas.
Most modern parents would lock the kids in the bedroom, and then but you're like, no, we'll lock ourselves in the dungeon. You kids have to
They can have the rest of the house. Like, fucking go nuts.
We will give you the property. Just leave us in this one room.
Whole house, go outside, go nuts. Fucking just leave us alone for 45 fucking minutes. We had enough. So the wife was like, oh, what do we do? And I'm like, there was nothing on TV, and I'm like, oh, we got the horse racing channel. Should we just fucking have stupid
Sky
bets?
Racing, baby?
Yeah. Should we just have stupid bets on whatever race is up next? And she's like, to kill an hour, hope for the kids to leave us alone. She's like, yeah, excellent, we'll just do that. In that hour, to your point, in that hour, there were literally fucking like 22 races. And I'm like, So we bet on 22 individual races. Like, okay, next one is Dapto. Next one is this. Next one is this one. Next. Now we're on the trots. Now we're on the dogs. Now we're on fucking Japan. What we're in Japan?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's put some money in Japan. We don't win it for the day, but
they just start phasing you into the Asian markets once we slow down, you know?
Yeah, exactly. In that hour, we must have bet on 20 odd races. We came out a little bit ahead somehow, just fluke. Like, we don't know anything about any of those things. Once again,
but just not making any dumb bets, taking things that are like, you know, if you got 30%, you know, you'll take 30% if the odds are right, you know?
No, they were all dumb bets. It was like, let's just pick fucking funny names and hope for the best. And we came out 40 up. So then the next week, we tried to like play the odds and we lost 50.
The odds are rigged.
So I'm like, well, let's just fucking bet on stupid names moving forward. Probably easier.
Would you ever go with PointsBet, Greeno? Shaq's a fan of PointsBet. Let's have a look.
Nah, the dude puts his head in the toilet.
I like to multitask. We're both winning today.
Hey, Spiranak, on the other hand, you'd follow wherever she goes. If she wants me to sign to the PointsBet, maybe.
If she decides it's a good idea.
Yeah. She's like, I think you should come over here. I'm like, maybe I'll switch my account.
Yeah. What if I could bet on how many hot dogs she can eat, Greeno?
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
I can two.
Just very, very, very slowly.
It's the JJ Stoner Spring Collection, the perfect attire for any and every occasion you can think of this season. Like we were in the mosh pit full of sweat and everyone's slapping, hitting, and pulling on you. This shit won't rip! Lunch at your favorite cafe? Brunch with the girls? These stylish ensembles will give you the confidence you need to look and feel your best. Or if you're getting arrested for possession, it comes with a built-in police stick-proof body armor. Keep swinging, pigs! Call now, and your order will come with a complimentary ounce of that dankest bubblegum slurricane that the South has to offer. Don't forget the wall tapestry! If you need to cover your wall, it works!
Hello, my name is Frozen Asian, and I'd like to tell you about my show, The Sunday Night Shit Show, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Along with good conversations and laughing at funny and weird shit we find on the internet, we also have the Hat Cam, where I showcase my myriad of great-looking hats. Here is a testimonial from a great friend of mine who has enjoyed my hats lately.
I hope your next hat is a bullet. Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking Asian Dick Tracy? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to ruin my evening? Like, I was just gonna listen to my buds do their show, and you just gotta do that. You do the show without the hat.
So you're not enjoying it?
No!
Dude, Asian
come
Dick
on,
Tracy.
secretly you enjoy it.
You look like you're going undercover in Argentina, but it's not working.
I hate you. I hate you.
Oh, come on, you secretly love it.
No, I openly hate it.
And there you have it. So subscribe to the Sunday Night Shit Show at youtube.com/Sunday Night Shit Show. And hope to see you there on Sunday nights. Bye.
Welcome to The Starting Block. Follow on Twitter at The Starting Block. Drop the K at the end. Find the podcast on iTunes or on tavshow.com.
Yes, this show is still going, believe it or not. I thought I was about to wrap up after the last segment, but fuck it. We're still plugging
Oh
along.
no, I just invited BE to join us on the Discord, to join us on the show.
Oh fuck! Oh, now I'm going to get another beer.
Yeah,
if BE's
grab
about to
another
join
beer.
us,
That's all right. I can hold my own for 30 seconds or so if you want to get another.
No. Beer is literally. I've set up the studio well enough that the fridge is next to the microphone. We're all good. If we're gonna do that, I'll do a quick story time. We're waiting for B to jump in.
Stories about pinatas.
Well, no, I invited him. I don't know if he accepted. I invited him. I don't think he likes me very much anymore. BE.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan.
I love you, BE. You know I love you. I know I love you, but obviously the Swans, I hate them.
With that said, B probably might have to get his cans ready. He might need to get the mic sorted. Like he might have to be sorting stuff out. So let's get the man a little bit of time.
He's got to set up. He's got to load in, and then we're going to talk about some punting, Greeno, because I want to hear. Exactly. I want to hear what's going on. I want to hear.
B knows what he's doing, man. The fucking dude sends a spreadsheet, and I like it because I'm a nerd.
That's the thing. I used to be into the sports betting, man, but that's the thing. You got to keep spreadsheet. You got to keep so many stats and spreadsheets and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, if you're not making, and like when I was doing when I was betting on sports and stuff, like trying to not lose, I was okay. Like I was in the positive, but you can't risk the kind of money that you need to risk if you want to do it for a living, so it's just
you gotta do it as a social thing. We do it for a bit of fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just like, look, if we're up $10, hey man, I'm fucking won $10. Like if I win enough money that pays for a case, like beautiful. Yeah. I'm up 50, I'll buy a case of beer.
That's all right, because you're sensible though. So you're not risking it all. And then but you can't make serious money doing it, because you might win the smooth Jimmy Apollo Greeny, you might win 52% of the time. Which is the best way to win, because you're winning, right? You're positive, but unless you're spending huge amounts of money, then you just doesn't
make that exactly. Like I got like a quarterly betting budget, and it's not fucking much.
Yep.
And if I lose that, I'm like, at the start of next quarter, then I'll put a little bit more in there.
Yep.
But if I still got money there, then I don't have to put any more. Like,
Yep.
All right, do it for fun, not fucking to try and make millions.
No, exactly. Unless of course, though, you come across every now and then you come across a juicy odd, and you're like, hang on, I think this guy's got a chance, And every now and then I'll throw a little bit on one of those, and they do come up, from time to time. Every now and then there's an outsider that I think's not an outsider,
The Sacramento Kings, who were why's this turning into a fucking betting show? But
told you, it's a good idea.
The Sacramento Kings, who have sucked fucking most of the year, right?
Yeah.
They blew 3 straight multis for me by upsetting a fucking very short favorite. So what I was noticing is from there,
were they home or away?
It didn't matter. Like they were either getting close or they were winning. So like I might have still jagged a win, or they were getting close. I'm like, Sacramento's a lot better than their record suggests.
Right.
And so we're not paying like $250.
Losing a lot of close ones home and away is a good sign.
Against a team
that's a good team.
When they're paying $220, $250 against a team that aren't very good, I'm like, this seems a bit fucking long for Sacramento. It's worth putting a 5 or 10 on. And they've come in a couple of times in a row.
Yeah.
But then they'll lose 6 in a row. It won't matter. But the competitiveness against good teams gave me confidence against the lower teams, even though the record was, hey, there's the man. I see him dialing in.
He's dialing in.
BE, I see him there.
Okay.
I'll tell my story time while waiting for BE to.
I like stories about pinatas.
We've been doing checkout updates the last couple of weeks. So I talked about fucking Chatterbox a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Then I talked about old mate Dane last week.
She kept you occupied far too long.
Way too long. Wanted to fucking know everything about everything. Wanted to know about, what I did the day.
I don't need another wife. I just want somebody to hand me food.
I don't want no chit chat. Just fucking scan. Let's fucking move on. It's 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Let's move.
Right.
Now, last week, week before last, I had Dane, 16-year-old Dane, young bloke, did the pleasantries. Didn't want to fucking chat after that because he's socially awkward and wants to fucking scan as quickly as possible.
Correct.
Big fan of Dane over there in Checkout 4. Last week, I had a different scenario, which I was perplexed before I lined up. I thought, look, I'm going to roll the dice because I had 2 options with the checkouts I had available here, Damo.
Okay.
I had old duck who's obsessed with Corona, who's a lovely lady.
Yes.
But I've dealt with her many times before, and she wants to chit-chat about Rona every fucking week.
Yeah.
Or I had a different young chick to the one I had who wanted to chat my ear off 3 weeks ago. So I thought,
have you been wearing your tank top at the supermarket? Because if the young girls and the old girls are all trying to talk to you, then it would suggest to me that you are out there flashing the guns.
No, tank tops have been put in the wardrobe because it hasn't stopped raining in a month and a half. So
like that would stop you, Greeno. Come on.
No. It messes with the oil I put on the gun, so we don't go with the rain. So I decided to roll the dice with the young chick this week again, and I'm like, look, this could be risky. But I looked at her and I'm like, I've got a good feeling here. I've got a fucking good feeling. And as I line up, I didn't even get the pleasantry. All I saw was scanning, and I'm like, fucking, we're good here. And then I realized what happened. I have copped in the aisle 16-year-old party girl.
Oh,
so poor
chick.
Hung over as shit. Does not want to be there. Does not want to chit chat. Just wants to fucking scan and move me on. So we've now got a couple of different buckets. We've got old ducks over here who wants to talk about Corona, sorry. So they're bucket one. We've got bucket two, young chick who's not hungover, who has way too much time on their hands, want to be fucking a bit too much chit-chatty. We got young bloke who's socially awkward, will only talk the ear off of other young chicks, doesn't want to deal with me. I like that aisle. And then we got bucket number 4, young chick, hungover as fuck, may have copped a bit of dick last night, and just wants to fucking move on with her life.
It's a good question. Who do you choose? Which gauntlet do you run? Where do you go? I suggest at this point, Greeno, we bring in our resident expert, that being the current Earth reporter, that being the soon-to-be guest, that being our present guest, BE, the Earth reporter. How are you going?
Nice, Gary.
Hey, boys. I reckon you should have ran with the old tank top and then went to the girl with the hangover, because she probably would have perked her up. She probably thought she might have copped another one.
Maybe. I went with the hungover girl. Last week, the only two options were old duck obsessed with Corona and young hungover girl who may have copped some dick the night before. So I went with young hungover chick, dick before. Just for some reason, I assumed she didn't want to chit chat. She did not want to say a word. She scanned. She moved on. She kind of mumbled, which I assume meant you can fucking pay now. And we moved on. Out of that entire bucket, though, I think obviously Corona old duck is out. Definitely fucking young chatty chick is gone. Except if I'm a young dude myself, then I want to fucking chit chat away, hoping I might get some action. So we're down to the final two. I'm still going with young bloke, socially awkward, because I feel like he's got more of a rapid pace with the scan to get me out of the register quicker.
Yeah, see, he's got an end game. He's just there to make the coin early so he can build his little empire, where she's just there because she wants coin to get on the piss next weekend.
Exactly. So I need the young bloke who's going to fucking keep productive, because the young chick, her scanning pace was fine, but I guarantee if I was there an hour later, we would have had less of a rapid kind of repetition with the scanning of the products, because I need to go take like a grog bog. Don't want to fucking deal with that. We need to just get on with this thing. Young bloke, socially awkward, only want to chit chat with the hot young chicks walking through. Happy with that guy moving forward. That's the end of my story time, sir.
Yeah, it's a nice story.
I like stories about pinatas.
Greeno, do you remember last week when we were talking about, I can't remember what we were talking about, but we brought up David Mitchell, who we both agree is.
Why are we talking about David Mitchell? BE's just joined the chat. Shouldn't we talk to BE for a bit?
Yeah, we do.
No, you can go David Mitchell, whatever.
I just want to show you this thing. So we were talking about David Mitchell, right, being one of the funniest men on the planet.
We were talking about it because Australia has done the terrible recreation of Would I Lie to You, and not realising the beauty of that particular show is the dynamic between Lee Mack, David Mitchell, and Rob Brydon, and the fact they're all comedy geniuses simultaneously working together. It's not because, it's funny because people tell lies and you have to guess which one and they make funny stories up. No, it's because those three guys are very fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, I think your story, being at the supermarket and trying to decide which level of poor customer service you're most satisfied with.
Well, it depends on what your definition of customer service is.
Well,
for me, I just want to get the fuck out of there quicker. Other people might want the conversation, might want to chat about the Rona, might want I've got nothing better to do, so I'll sit here and talk with a fucking checkout chick for 25 minutes. No, I just want to get out.
Lucky for you and the other people who don't understand setups, Greeno, I can give to you.
Well, We still haven't got to the end of the first segment.
Yeah, I know. We're going to get back to that.
I am your conscience. That video is still fucking loading up in the background.
Yeah, it's still there. It's buffering, Greeno. We're buffering. to make it smoother.
Just fucking play it. Get over and done with.
Okay. So speaking
that's
of,
how we're going to end the show, BE. We're going to end it with, I am your conscience.
I am your conscience. Speaking of customer service, Greeno, your story, we were talking about Dave Mitchell last week, reminded me of this.
Horrible.
And because this is pretty much what I think too.
A lot of job interviews.
The thing that seems unfair to me is the number of people who are expected to pretend they care about jobs they don't care about. You should be allowed to say, look, I'm fulfilling my contract. You can't put in the contract, also you have to seem like you give a shit. I think that's expecting too much. Yeah. That's why I really like the fact that we live in a country with such poor customer service. I've got respect for that. You know? This is a horrible train, you're tearing tickets, of course you're in an awful mood.
Now that you've put it like that, I shall feel better about it. You're right. Why have a cheesy grin on your face if you are working in an awful supermarket?
Well, it's the sign either of a liar or a moron.
Yeah.
Nice, Gary!
He's not wrong.
No, he's well, that said, though, like, back in the day, me and the boys, I was lucky when I worked retail, I worked with, like, mates. So we just used to fuck around and act like dickheads. So we were having a good time when we were serving customers. So there's a reason we had a smile on our face. But I get it. If you're having a bad time and, like, serving a customer who's being a dick, trying to pretend to be friendly, fuck him. Like, I'll spit in their devil.
That's the thing. We also make it so easy now to not die because you don't have a job, which is not, like, you know, not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but you know, once upon a time you couldn't not care about not having a job. You had to care, you know, so you had to put on the act, you had to put on the big smile, whereas now it's kind of expected. Everybody knows that everybody else also hates their job or something, so like nobody really expects good customer service anymore. Like, you know, if I, like, say you pull up to the drive-through window at Macca's, Greeno, do you want the person to be like, hello, sir, may I take your order? Or are you okay with them going, hey, what do you want? You know, like, I'm okay with it. I'm like, yeah, just give me this, and this, sweet bro, see ya, you know?
We'll try to beat in a sec with his answer, but I don't want people to be fake, like, polite to me. I just expect general courtesy. Like I don't want to chit chat, but I don't expect someone to be rude to me because I'm there in their aisle. I just like, hey sir, how you doing? And that's it. I hate the chit chat aspect of feeling like you need to be social. Just greet me politely, ask me questions politely. For me, that's good customer service. People who want to fucking yap your ear off, for me, that's bad customer service, not good. Other people find it as good customer service. I tend to disagree. I just want to be left alone, but I want to have a friendly face at the start. And then just give me my shit, and then I'll fuck off, leave you alone, hand you the money, you get your paycheck, we move away.
Your tune has certainly changed from the man who's struggling to find an appropriate cashier at 7 a.m. Because all of a sudden you're very empathetic and understanding.
No, my
jerk used to work at a deli to me.
My gripe is the length of fucking chit chat. I don't mind. I want people to be fucking like, hey, how you doing? And that's it. Say hi to me and then move on. If you want to fucking yam my ear, I'm not there for a fucking chat. You want to have a chat with me, fucking meet me at a bar. Like, I'm not at a bar, so you don't have to work. I'll be in a situation where I want to have a conversation where it's appropriate, not in an aisle where you feel like you need to have a conversation with me about random topics that you really don't care about.
Do you get into a lot of conversations with people who work in supermarkets, or? Because I can't say I do.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Oh, mate, that was the fucking joke I meant to write down. I realised what this segment was meant to be. Oh, okay. I was meant to segue from this.
I like stories about pinatas.
I still pre-show.
It's still pre-show. I realised this was meant to be my segue into dressing up as a crackhead before I go supermarket shopping moving forward. Because my theory is
that you'll be left alone.
If I rock up like scratching, hey mate, my theory is I'm too friendly myself up front, that I seem like the kind of dude you want to have a chat with. Like, I'm a skinhead and now my beard's all trimmed, but back in the old days when I had my hobo beard and people didn't want to talk to me. They'd look at me weirdly. So I feel like now that I'm a bit more clean shaven and looking a bit more friendly, it's making people feel that they can chat to me in an aisle, whereas historically no one did.
Man, because some of those people that work, the younger ones that work in the supermarket and the checkout, they probably hit you up for a deal.
Yeah. Well, no, I just look like a dude you don't want to chat with because I had a big fat, literally. You might have been there back when we did the show. I think I had my big fat hobo beard at that particular point.
Yeah. Greeno, what if there was another way? Hear me out here. What if there was another way where you didn't have to humiliate yourself by regrowing that forest-like hideous?
I'll let you know a bit of a secret. Beard. There's this thing now called click and collect. We don't have to talk to anyone.
Well,
just at the back.
Yeah. But now then I have to pay for that as well. And then they get to pick and choose my groceries, BE. Well, they touch my groceries, they pick my veg.
Yeah,
I'm very selective with what I pick up, mate.
So would you rather someone touch the packaging that your food comes in or talk to someone?
I'd rather talk to someone. I don't want anyone fucking touching my food. I don't want to pick my own vegetables.
Fuck, you're a hard man to please.
No, are you serious? Fuck, man, no way. Like, you're happy with other people touching the vegetables that go in your mouth and stuff?
Yeah, how do you know who's touched it before they go on the shelf anyway?
They have been touched before they've been put.
That's right.
They have been touched before I go in, but at the same time,
you don't have to think
you're
about
right.
The thing is that you used to work in a supermarket, and so did I, and you know what goes on.
I know what goes on, and I know. And once again, I want to pick my own fruit and veg as well. So it's about I know what particular apple I like. I know how ripe I need my banana that fucking works for when I want to eat it on Friday. So if I just send it to, because my wife used to do the online shopping, and stuff would come in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? She's like, oh, they've sent lamb instead of beef, and I'm like, but the meal I'm cooking is beef. She's like, yeah, but they sent lamb because they didn't have beef. And I'm like, what the fuck am I meant to do with that? Like. It's a fucking so
they send you a sponge because there's no toilet paper left.
There's no toilet paper. They're like, yeah, just wipe your ass with this. 100% right. Like it's absorbent. Just give it a wipe. You'd be good. Rinse it out.
Have a go.
So I'd rather deal with the inane. That's why I go Saturday morning, fucking crack of dawn, because there's the least potential amount of chit chat theoretically at that particular point. To get back to the original conversation.
Well, if you want people to avoid you at the supermarket, Greeno, you don't have to grow back.
Do you reckon? I could do it and grow it back, man.
No, you don't have to grow it back. You could do other things. You could just wear, like, for example, wear a shirt with a swastika on it. People will avoid you. You could walk in there. I would like to see you walk in there, like those pajamas that the kids used to wear in the old fairy tales, where the little flap.
Onesies.
Well, but you have the little flap on the arse.
Little bum flap.
Yeah.
Yes, fucking oath.
Yeah.
But
you just have one of the buttons open, so it's like you only see one half of one cheek. You know what I mean?
I think you need to insinuate you've
just have the hole open. Yeah.
You've just done poopies in aisle 4.
You could do that.
But then mention that as soon as you get to the aisle, like the register, to go, like, as you're unpacking, show the arse crack. And then point out, going, look, you might want to send one to aisle 4, and just don't mention anything else.
Well, I mean,
consider possibly going shopping during school hours, so the younger attendants are at school.
No, that's the worst, because then you got all the fucking mums.
Yeah, the angry mums.
The angry mums already there. I did that once during Easter. When I think I took the day off because my daughter was doing Easter hat parade, and I'm like, I'm going to smash out my Saturday morning shop on a Thursday midday after I see the Easter hat.
Risk.
We're good to go.
Pension day, mate.
Yeah.
It was
true.
terrible.
It's so true. Pension day, social security day, dole day. That's when it's the fucking busiest, mate.
You got to go Tuesday, man.
It was 400 deep, and I'm like, I'm never shopping on a weekday again. Like Saturday morning, 7 a.m.
Nice, Gary!
I always like a good shop. I would love if we had a 24-hour supermarket somewhere local, because I would have utilized it. Now, maybe not so much these days because I'm not working nights like I used to. But of course, I worked nights for like 20 years, so 2 a.m, 3 a.m. is when I knocked off. It was like,
how good? We used to go to Blacktown Kmart at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was
Perfect
24
shop.
hours.
24 hours. Kmart's 1 a.m. for a long while.
But the problem with Kmart is it's got Kmart stuff. So I'm not gonna need. I'm not going to need an ironing board at 3 a.m. I'm not going to need a clothes rack at 12:30 a.m. on a Sunday on Christmas Eve. I'm just not. I'll manage.
Buck 80 singlet.
Yeah.
Not going to need
but
it.
Whereas I need to get cereal and munchies and milk and, maybe I feel like sausages at 1 a.m. I would love to just run down the shop, grab a fucking bag of snags and start frying those fuckers up at 1 a.m. on a Friday night. Wouldn't you like that? But no, instead we have to go to Kmart. And it's like, well, what can I get in here? I can get a bag of biscuits that are probably out of date. That's what they've got. I can get a bag of dog food in Kmart. They're not going to have the gourmet sandwich aisle open at 1 a.m, are they? So it's a bit of a disappointment. I do wish we had like one supermarket that's 24 hours. But yeah, obviously go as early as you can. I've been known to park in the parking lot of the local supermarket for 10 minutes beforehand, having a cigarette and like just waiting for those fucking roller doors to open, man. So I can get in and get out.
What time is local open down there?
It's 7 a.m, I think, is the standard.
Yeah, it used to be 7. The one at your local Damo, yeah, I used to do open. So yeah, 7 a.m. is doors open there. Yeah, they're at 5:30 to prep.
The center's open earlier than that though, because there's a baker that's like
the baker and the newsagent open at 6.
That's right.
Well, this is years ago now. We used to open our supermarket at 6 a.m.
Right,
and we wouldn't close till 11. But up here, it's 8 a.m. open, 8 p.m. close. That doesn't suit. That's pretty shit.
That's brutal.
You're so used to like Sydney hours, man. Sydney hours is 24/7, isn't it? Like
it's like Sunday trading only started here like 6 years ago.
It's incredible.
Like the further north you go, the further back in time you go.
I know, but I kind of like it too.
I don't mind that. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah. I wish everyone had Sunday off. Like everyone. And it's like, all right, everything's shut on Sunday. So if you want a busy day at the shops, it's going to be Saturday because we're going to be buying all of our Sunday shit on Saturday.
No. Saturdays I do my yard work, get that out of the road. Nice. Sundays is quick duck down to the shops, have a look around, get some booze. Sunday football back shed.
Sunday footy back shed.
Who's the grocery buyer in your household, BE? And what's the frequency?
We share actually. We don't buy large amounts at each time, so we could potentially go to 3 times a week.
Yep.
Okay.
But we use the Notes app on our phones that is a live update, so you can share that. So there's a consistent list. So it's not like, oh, what do you want? What do you need? It's in the app, it's live. So if I go to the supermarket, flick open the app, I know what's on the list that needs to be purchased. I grab it, tick the boxes, happy days.
I don't know about that, BE, because that sounds like it's taking the fun out of it. Because if I go to the shops, I don't want to plan. I just want to walk around and get what I want,
Mayman does the one basket policy.
Because you can't.
It doesn't matter what's on the list, mate. You can't give him a list.
The point I'm going.
I've seen Damo shop.
The point I'm getting at is, BE, you can't mention things like that on the show because just maybe my wife hears it, and she's gonna be like, "Holy shit, there's an app, so I can give him." She's going to put me on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week fucking shopping list, man. She's just going to be updating the list every day. And it's like, it's going to become a chore. I can't have that. I can't have it. I must not have it. No. So
Nice.
I would much rather do my usual routine. Well, I would much rather go to the supermarket and just float around and pick whatever I want.
Mate, when I come home and unload the car and you put it on the kitchen bench, right? Sort of same setup as your kitchen, and you unpack the bags and you're kind of like trying to sneak the stuff that wasn't on the list, like quickly duck it away. And KT's like, hey, what's this here? That wasn't on the list.
That's why you got to buy in bulk. Like, I reckon if you're a family man, this is my plan moving forward, boys, just so you know. Eventually, if one day it should happen that a family should arise, I'm going to start ordering snacks in bulk in like cardboard boxes. So I'm just going to have the boxes kind of dropped off and I'll store them in the garage. And that's where I'll keep all of my really good man snacks, like the jerky and shit. And so
I've got a fridge in my back shed.
I got a
Keep 'em out of reach,
backup pantry in my garage as well.
Yeah.
Needs to be done. You got to have a pantry in the garage. You got to have
your
a
man
beer
shit
fridge
in there.
garage.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. Like all you need is the equivalent of one pantry, one fridge, and your cupboard. That's all you need.
My back shed's got like a little pantry cupboard, a fridge, a TV, a dartboard, and a swag, and a barbecue. I don't even have to go inside it, but I need to.
It's beautiful.
See, that's all I'm missing, B. I didn't get because my man shed is a combination of like all my DVDs, my books, my gym, the fridge, also the backup pantry, and what's now the equivalent of the studio. But the studio also doubles as obviously my TV because everything's streamed these days. I just need to find a way to get a bed in this bad boy, and then I'm never have to enter the house ever again.
Loft. Put a loft in. Easy.
No loft. I think a blow-up bed will do the job.
Okay, that'll do. Yeah.
Now, we need to touch on menu protocol for you, BE. Now, you talked about you do 2-3 shops a week. What's the menu plan for dinners? Do you do kind of like preempt in advance or like daily? What do we feel like? What are we going to do? How much time we got left? What time did we get home from work?
And can I just interject here and say you both have 4 mouths, don't you? That's the tally.
Correct.
That's
okay,
right,
so I'm out of this because clearly I'm operating on half the amount of required fuel.
Here's my theory, and B, you may have a different opinion as a parent, and you guys might have different parenting theories. My theory is what the fuck I eat is what my kids are gonna eat. So they're not babies anymore. I'm like, if you don't like what I cook for dinner, then you guys don't eat.
Yeah, I don't know what to feed a kid, man. I don't know.
No, well, different. Like my kids are 3 and 6, right?
Yeah.
So everything I eat is generally pretty healthy. So if we're having like chicken and chips or steak and salad or whatever, that's something each of those 2 age groups can eat. Like obviously when they're babies, different fucking story. You have to feed them what they need to feed. But at my kids' age and B's kids' age, I think we're pretty similar. I think we're 1 year back on each.
Next week they'll be 5 and 3.
There you go, 100%. Yeah, so exactly 100%, 1 year back on each. I'm like, well, whatever I'm going to cook for myself and my wife for dinner, the kids can eat 99% of it. Excellent, that's what they're getting. So I stop planning for the kids anymore. I just cook what I want to eat, and then everyone else has to eat it around it.
We're very close to having same for same at the moment. We're not quite there yet. Like for example, tonight we had fish tacos. Happy days, kids.
No, got to interrupt. Sorry.
Nice,
Why would any?
I guess he's talked for 4 seconds and you've interrupted him.
No, I don't understand. I don't believe in fish tacos. I'm going to put it that way. I don't. No, seriously. No, I'm being genuine. I don't believe that there is such a thing that has fish on a taco. I don't think that's real. Like there is no such thing as the fish taco. There are people who put fish where it ought not be, but there is no such thing as a fish taco. That's my general understanding.
I think in my entire life, I can count on one hand how many times I've had fish tacos, to be honest.
Well, all I heard was 1, and that was enough. That was enough to make me disgusted.
I will interrupt with a very poignant point here, sir. Firstly, is it an old El Paso thing that makes you think that it's tainting the image of the having a fish taco?
No, I'm not. I'm not so subdued by fucking advertising, Greeno. I mean, out of the 2 of us, you're the one who is obsessed with red carpet events. So,
and the old El Paso chick. I love that chick.
Yeah, why can't we have both? Obviously.
Why can't we have both? My second question.
The taco that falls over constantly, which is
we don't want that one.
No,
we're gonna make it flat.
Yeah.
My second question is: the fish taco was also the code word of a brothel that used to happen in our local area.
Oh, is that right?
There was a brothel above a kebab shop, and the code word to go 100% in Queen Street.
Taco.
Used to go into that. and they say, "Oh, I want a fish taco," which was code was, "I want to go upstairs."
Wait, was that the upstairs coffee lounge, Greeno?
The one with the red leather couches? I mean, what?
No. I swear to God, I've never been in it, and I know Greeno's never been in it. But there was this one little fucking sign on this doorway in, a place that Greeno and I know very well as young men, like growing up sort of around that area, but not necessarily. But anyway, but there was just this one little fucking sign above this doorway in this street, which is very famous in the area for just being the heart of degeneracy, Greeno, and drugs and fucking just fucking crime and, and it was it was called the Upstairs Coffee Lounge. That was the sign above, but everybody knew it was a brothel up there, and it was next to like Greeno said, like a restaurant, a kebab shop. So you would go, I guess, what would you go in and ask for, Greeno?
So apparently the code word to get upstairs
into the Upstairs Coffee Lounge.
Where do you be? This is a story told to me. To go to the Upstairs Coffee Lounge was because it was not on the menu. It was like, I'd like to order the fish kebab, please, and they'd take you around the back.
And you'd get led upstairs to the coffee lounge. Now, mind you, it was next door to three things. I'll put it that way. It was next door to a pub. It was next door to a pawn shop, a hock shop. Greeno, remember that hock shop that used to be down there near the train station?
I thought it was opposite side. I thought it was next to an RM Williams.
No. The RM Williams was much further, closer to the highway.
Oh, okay. No, that's where I thought that this thing was.
No. This place, the coffee lounge was like right down near the train lines.
I thought the kebab shop was anyway.
No, because remember there was like remember there was like half a dozen charcoal chicken places in that street.
Yeah.
And it was like the last one before the train station, and the pub was next door, and then on the other side you had the fucking hock shop where people.
So we had B, to give you an example of this street, there was meth clinic.
Methadone clinic. So the junkies, it was beautiful because the junkies would line up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. 6 a.m. on a Wednesday, lining up to get the methadone. But mind you, it was a brilliant business strategy. A guy bought the place next to the methadone clinic. This place was sitting there. This guy bought it, and it was a hock shop. So the junkies would just go to the hock shop, hock whatever they stole, and I swear to God, literally walk next door
for a dip.
Yeah, and next door and buy their dip off the guys who were getting the methadone on the program and just selling it to to the junkies. It was a fucking beautiful system. And then the Upstairs Coffee Lounge was next to that.
For some reason. So here's the thing. All this time, like this was about 20-odd years ago that I heard this story.
Yeah.
All this time, I thought this kebab shop was the one down the other end near the highway. So I've been like...
No, I know what you're saying now. No, that's a different brothel. I swear to God, hand on heart.
Nice, Gary!
No, that's a different brothel on the upstairs of that one. That's a different place.
Christ.
That's not the coffee lounge. No, the other one is like, the other one is like Stairway to Heaven or something.
It's a classy street. The western suburbs.
Oh, wow.
You did say earlier that you were bad at geography, Greeno.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice, Gary!
But you do now know what the shape of
Iceland is. So here's a quick story time for you, Damo.
What is
I
the
like
shape
stories
of
about pinatas.
So we got sent this thing at work. They're like, here's a trivia thing. We want you to review this like newsletter. Give us some feedback, and also you can win $25 if you can tell us what the shape this particular country is. Tell us what country it is. So I realized our work is very fucking no one cares. Yeah. So if I nail this, I'm in a very good chance to win $25.
Okay.
No one's
25 big words.
Me, $25. I'm fucking $25. I'll take $25.
Oh, man, if someone's giving me 25, I'll take 25. But I'm not going to do anything for 25.
My theory was no one's going to reply to this dude because it involves reading a whole newsletter, giving feedback about the newsletter, and then I'll still answer the question correctly. So I read the newsletter, gave feedback because I'm like the dude that created it, is a very good dude in my work. And I'm like, he's put some effort in. I'm like, hey, mate, everything's good. Maybe change X, Y, and Z. And then I was stumped because I suck at geography. And I'm like, who the fuck do I know who's really good at geography? So I fucking put a message out to BE, and I'm like, do you know what this country is? And within like a minute, give him a fucking nice Gary, BE gave me the answer.
Nice, Gary!
Now, I had been literally looking at a map for an hour. I went to the globe.
What? An hour?
An hour. I was spending an hour on this fucker, right? I'm sitting there going, what shape looks like this, blah, blah, blah. Turns out the country was Iceland. So on the map, it's quite small, so I overlooked it. I was looking more big countries because it seemed big in the picture.
Does Iceland have like a little kind of peninsula little bit and then like a kind of like
Iceland is its own individual island.
Yeah, I know that. I'm trying to describe in words how it looks. Like does it have a little sticky outy bit, Greeno? Is that the one?
I wouldn't know, mate. I'm hopeless.
You still don't know. So
I just asked BE. He gave me the answer. I sent it to the fucking bloke, and I still didn't win $25. So someone else gave the answer. So that's my story.
I like
Iceland stories about
Greenland
pinatas.
and Norway and like the top of Canada. They've all got those really steep cliff faces. So it's not actually kind of like a circle. It's more like it's got
it's like a circle that someone stepped on, isn't it? Like
that's right. Yeah.
Squashed out the sides.
I guess you could say like the northwest of it would be kind of like an obscure shape to the rest of it, but it's pretty much in a circular reference.
Iceland seems like a nice place. I would like to visit it one day. I know the people there are very isolated and they have like their own kind of weird little culture, but it seems like the kind of place that I would like because, there's not many people around and it's cold most of the year. So I like that. I hate the heat. And I think, that's the kind of place a man could disappear in. But then again, I think of, well, do I really want to work for $4 a day? Is that something that I'm really invested in, Greeno? And do I want to fight old ladies for rotten fish at a market somewhere in minus 10 degrees? And I necessarily don't want to do that. So
let's go back to segment 1 about how long ago did we start the show? 2.5 hours ago. Where we were talking about our proposition.
Start the show. Did you? You just did a bit of Greeno drunken Sean Connery there. How long ago did we start the show? Started.
So where we're talking about becoming PM of Australia and our 3-year plan of just over-promising and under-deliver, which is pretty much
the plan is to spend it all. Just spend every last dollar. Literally go broke. Just spend every
fucking
last
nuts.
dollar.
Like we're going to spend everyone getting their own house.
Yep.
Go fucking nuts.
Yep.
Enjoy your house, kids. We should do that in Iceland because they wouldn't see what's coming. Like if it doesn't work out here in Australia, we can go to Iceland.
I reckon the Vikings were in Iceland once upon a time, Greeno.
There we go.
Yeah. So they won't accept us.
More than 60% of the population in Iceland live in the capital.
Is that right? There you go.
All right. So we just appointed BE as our Secretary of State.
In Iceland.
In Iceland. Yes. I assume we're going to put Damo as our president, obviously.
Why do I have to be the president? I don't want to be the president.
Doesn't matter. We're voted. It doesn't matter. We're voted.
I don't want to be the president. That's the one that people shoot. I don't want to be the guy that people shoot. I'd much rather be the guy who lurks in the background, drinks all the wine and, has sex with all the servants. I'd rather be that guy. Manipulate everybody who else is in power.
So you're the resident Ralph Harris then.
Who's Ralph Harris? I don't know who that is. Oh, Rolf Harris, like wom, timey kangaroo down. Was he involved in the courts? Was he? I didn't know. The King's Court. Sir Rolf. He was knighted, wasn't he? Sir Ralph? Rolf? What's his name?
I think the Queen, fucking man, there's pedophiles in her own family, and they're all cousins.
They're also lizards, Greeno. I don't know if you know that or not.
Ralph's the least of their problems, trust me.
Yeah.
Damo, you had a story time in the rundown. You want to touch on that?
I like stories about pinatas.
Yeah, I've got a little story for you. So
I like that we're still bringing it back to the rundown 2.5 hours later.
yeah, because fuck the rundown. You should forget about the rundown, Greeno. Move on. It's over for the rundown.
Let's start this betting one.
Yeah, I would like to do the betting.
Oh, actually, no, I'll tell you later. We'll come back to that. Go, do your story.
No. Fuck, let's interrupt the story before we get to it.
I like stories about pinatas.
I was actually, I was telling Greeno about this the other day, Damo, that I've started a spreadsheet on AFL for gambling, and you're going to love it. I'll share you the link.
Oh, don't get me in again. I just got out, man. I got out. They're trying to drag me back in.
Nah, B does a fucking good nerd spreadsheet, man.
I know, that's the problem. That's why I don't want to see it, because I know it's good.
Nah, man, his NFL one was fucking next level. His NBA one is fucking like got some like nice little tips, but I guarantee his AFL one is going to be fucking primo because he's passionate about the AFL more than the other sports. So,
and I'm passionate about money.
Yeah, that is. I still don't know how you've made money out of fucking betting, BE. Like you've talked like, is this an offline?
Done the work. You got to do the work,
or a non online conversation to have. As in, like you have been successful with betting enough that it's paid for certain things.
That's right. So I bought recently bought a new set of golf clubs. Thanks to Sportsbet.
Thank you very much. Sportsbet. Nice, Gary. Nice, Gary. Fuck that points bet and shack off. Right off. Fuck them.
But Paige, though, we'll keep her.
Oh, yeah.
I extended the concreting and pavers around my pool, and I bought a mountain bike.
So B knows what he's fucking doing, is my point. Like, the dude, there's a reason.
I feel like we should be playing the Wheel of Fortune prize music while he's rattling off the things that he's won.
John Burgess video from last week? We'll get that back. Oh, quick story time, if we can.
I like stories about pinatas.
I want to talk dick move as well for the Oscars. Dick! Because what got completely overshadowed by Will Smith acting like a fucking cuckold was the fact that the 30th anniversary of White Men Can't Jump was meant to be the big story of the Oscars. Well, that and the fact, the winners and whatnot. But we had Wesley Snipes, we had Rosie Perez, we had Woody Harrelson all rock up to celebrate the 30th anniversary of White Men Can't Jump at the Oscars. No one talked about it.
That's fantastic, Greeno. That's an amazing little story time.
I like stories about pinatas.
As you know, White Men Can't Jump was probably one of the biggest movies of yours and mine formative years, was it not? White Men
Literally,
Can't Jump.
if I'm listing my two favorite movies of all time, and also
it's up there.
two most watched, it's Willy Wonka, and then the second one is White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, it's up
and
there.
not because either of them like are great movies, they're just my most watched and most loved.
Yeah, the ones you can always go back to and still smile.
Exactly. Like I still walk around and go, I'm going Sizzler.
We going Sizzler.
Shut your tape worth having overdose dickery behind me and die. Leave me alone.
Nice, Gary.
Just because you hit 2 passes and 1 dunk doesn't mean you can play. Hell, you could put a cat in an oven and that don't make it a biscuit.
Let's go, Billy, huh?
Even the sun shines out of a dog's ass some days, Greeno.
Anyone can win me like
Nice, Gary.
Oh, fuck it all.
Do you know they're making a remake of White Men Can't Jump? I shit you not.
They ruin everything, man. They ruin everything. It's not that they're going to ruin this. They ruin everything.
Everything. Sorry, B, you about to say something, mate?
No, I was just saying, I saw the extended trailer for the new Top Gun movie last night. It looks pretty cool. I hope they don't ruin that one.
See,
right.
Top
I haven't seen it. Should we watch it?
I haven't seen it either, Damo.
Okay.
So here's another quick story time for you.
Okay.
I like stories about pinatas.
I'm a very long-winded motherfucker as this night's gone on. Recently I've been trying to watch movies that I feel like are classics that I should watch that I've never watched. Top Gun falls into that bucket. So I found it on, I think it's on Netflix. Haven't watched it yet.
What, the original Top Gun?
The original Top Gun.
Oh, I've seen that probably 100 times, I reckon.
That's it. See, I've never seen the movie. All I know is like a gay volleyball scene.
Fucking brilliant.
And I need the need for speed. That's all I know of that movie.
You lost that love and feeling. How can you not know that scene?
No, I know the scene. I've never seen the movie. So
you got to see the movie.
That's why I've saved it. So that's my plan.
What about the remake, Greeno? How about a 60? How about a 67-year-old Tom Cruise riding a motorbike? Let's see what. Look at this.
This is horrible.
He's back. He's back.
Can Goose die again though? Like surely.
Yeah.
Most importantly,
no. Goose's son is in the flight school.
No.
Of course he is. There he is. Is that Goose's son? Right there. He looks a goose, doesn't he?
Most importantly, I have seen Hot Shots though, so I feel like that's more important.
That's
than
true.
watching.
Oh my god, are they still doing like the army boys in tight uniforms? I guess it still sells, doesn't it?
Nice, Gary!
I guess it still sells, but it's basically like. So wait, in the movie, is this like the year after Top Gun? Because it looks like the same place, doesn't it? Like nothing's changed. Like, look at him. You know, he's still got the sunglasses hanging off his little shirt there.
No, I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
You know, one thing that really bugs me with Tom Cruise is that your two top front teeth, his is in the middle. Doesn't have two front teeth. He's got one front tooth. Did you know that?
No, I've never noticed that.
And since I've known it, now every time I see him,
it's going to be like Delta Goodrum's neck, man.
What's wrong with Delta Goodrum's neck?
No, Delta Goodrum has a really long neck, and now that you've heard that, you'll only ever notice how long a neck is, and that's all you'll ever see. So that's what Brad's doing with Tom's teeth. I love Tom Cruise. I'm not going to lie. Tom Cruise is like one of my favorite actors. I don't care about I don't care what he's doing behind I don't care about that stuff.
What movies do you like though? Like
all of them.
It's a fair bit. I must admit, he's got a pretty good back catalogue when you think about it.
He's a good actor. I'm sorry. You know, people dislike him. I don't care.
We like him too.
I really like him.
I don't think he's a good actor at all because he plays the same character in pretty much every movie.
He does.
He's Jonathan Lipnicki's stepdad.
Nice, Gary!
Just feeding him pistachios through the hole.
If you think about it, like Cheesy's had some iconic roles. Like you got the old days, you've got the Risky Business, you've got Rayman, this one. You've got.
How about your Days of Thunder, Greeno?
Days of Thunder.
Yeah, I like Minority Report, Brad. That's one of my favorites.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cocktail though, fucking
Cocktail.
Yeah.
What's his name? Coglin's Law, Greeno. Beer is strictly a morning beverage.
Aussie guy, Brian Brown. Well, good.
Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary!
Jack Reacher was pretty good too. I enjoyed that one.
He's very good in Tropic Thunder as well.
Tropic Thunder, he's in that. He's Eyes Wide Shut.
Mission Impossible.
I love all the Mission Impossibles because I'm a nerd for that kind of a movie. You know, like the cheesy kind of super spy movie. I'm always going to be a fan of. So, no, Tom's. Doesn't matter what Tom's in, he's always good in it. That's the.
I need to watch the Pool movie. I've never been able to find it on DVD. The one he's in with it's the sequel to what's it called? The one with Paul Newman.
Paul Newman? Oh, where is The Hustler or something?
The Hustler, yeah, the sequel to The Hustler.
I never knew there was a sequel.
Where Tom Cruise plays like he's the protege of The Hustler. And I've never been able to find it on DVD or any streaming services thus far. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
The Color of Money is called. That's one.
The Color of Money. Yeah. The pool, where he's the pool hustler.
Yeah,
guy.
he's the pool hustler. That's right. I've never seen that movie, but it seems like something I'd enjoy.
I watched that. Yeah. I watched that maybe like a month ago or something. Just,
Was it on Netflix?
Threw it on. Maybe.
I have to look it up.
Yeah, every now and then I just go looking for some old thing that I've never seen that people talk about. And that was one of them. That was on the list. I don't remember. It wasn't memorable. But, he's an old guy and he's he's an old fucking hustling kind of smooth operator dude trying to teach this young guy how to do, and they're both thinking about fucking the other one over, and there's a chick involved. It's that kind of movie.
Sounds about right. Yeah,
that's about right. That's about the movie.
Gary!
I just had a quick look, and it says that there's a prequel to The Color of Money, and that's called The Hustler.
Is that a joke?
So which one did I say?
Hustler.
Nice, Gary!
Hustler it's an interesting film, The Hustler. I bought that on DVD just because we were so obsessed with Paul, and watched it. And it's such a fucking slow film, but Jackie Gleason and Paul Newman are fantastic in it. And then the story is kind of like, where's this going? Like, it really is very, very dour.
Jackie Gleason?
Yeah, 100%. That's who plays something Fats. Can't remember the name of the character specifically.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's a classic for that particular reason, but it's very, very slow. You can tell it's a very old school movie. But there you go. That's the prequel to Color of Money.
Now, see, I don't believe either of you now. Like, there can't be a prequel to The Color of
Minnesota Fats.
Minnesota Fats, that's the one. 100%
Minnesota Fats was a guy in the movie?
Yeah, 100%. So Jackie Gleason played Minnesota Fats in The Hustler, which is actually the original
prequel
movie.
to The Color of Money.
It's not a fucking prequel. It's like that was the movie, and then they made a sequel, The Color of Money, that incorporated the character that Paul Newman played in the original film.
Yes, he's now like the old and wise guy teaching Tom Cruise.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Special.
So what the fuck is this shit then?
Hangman.
This is
What kind of mission is this?
So what is this? What is this hot garbage then that we're watching? What is this? Where is Tom? I haven't seen Tom yet. Now is this? Oh my god! Is that the Transformers guy? Is this Shia LaBeouf, Greeno? Look
Before
at him.
you play any more of that,
I don't think that's Shia.
I think that's Shia LaBeouf.
I don't think so.
Is it? Can someone please confirm?
I will confirm. Give me a second, but I want you to try and guess what the first scene in this trailer you'll see of Tom Cruise.
Volleyball. They're going to play some volleyball. That's my guess.
Volleyball on the beach. Beach volleyball, Greeno.
Yeah.
What would I say?
Gayest straight man ever.
I don't know. I think that would be too obvious. I'm going to go for the Hustler theme and say he's playing pool in a bar. That's where I'm picking him up in the story. I don't know. As like the old grizzly ex-super fighter pilot who's now like a broken man and, he's just drinking, and for some reason there's some emergency and only the old guy who used to fly the old kind of plane can solve it, and he'll be brought back in and he'll have to fly with the son of the Iceman or something, the Val Kilmer's son, and then they'll save the world. Am I close?
No.
Okay.
Who the hell are they going to get to teach us?
Captain.
Oh, here he is.
Mitchell.
The motorbike. Anyone have the motorbike?
Racing a jet.
Yep. Just like he was back in the old days.
Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice. You were here at the request of Admiral Kazansky.
Oh, he is back.
AKA Iceman.
Oh, Iceman.
He seems to think that you have something left to offer.
Look at the amount of plastic surgery Val Kilmer has had even in a still photograph. Look at that. Jesus.
All right, you want to talk betting very quickly? So I was sitting very comfortably with my multi, thinking Port Adelaide were up by about 16 points with nothing to worry about as my final leg. Adelaide came home strong and beat him by fucking 4 points.
Yeah.
You can't bet on
it would have been like
derbies,
last
man.
tick of the game too, man.
Buck 39 Port Adelaide were paying. I had pretty much cash out at full value. I'm like, mate, they're up by fucking 16 points with a quarter to go. We're good. No.
There's certain games though, like an Adelaide showdown, it's tough to bet on because it doesn't matter who's playing well. Like those kinds of passionate games can always, it's a toss up, You're better off betting on the outsider because the outsider can win on most days in derby games.
They're paying out full value literally 20 minutes ago. I'm like, how did that bet lose? Unbelievable.
Jordan Dawson kicked a goal after the siren to win it.
Oh,
Nice, Gary!
that's a fucking kick in the dick. There you go. After the siren, cost me my multi. Unbelievable.
There's no such thing as a buzzer beater. It's like, nah, take your time, mate. You'll be right.
That's exactly the luck that Greeno was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It was like we went 15 days, I think it was, straight of losing multis by one leg.
One multi.
Or
But
like
that was my,
overtime or something like that.
Such
that was my personal tonight. I had Sharkies, Melbourne v Essendon, Panthers, and Port Adelaide. Not bad value. Got like $4 for
Melbourne. Melbourne was definitely going to flog Essendon. That was.
Oh, and that was
on the
fine, but yeah,
cards.
Port Adelaide, they were up a fucking plenty with go kick after the siren to fucking lose that multi. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I went the same insurance bet as you. I went Panthers, D's, and Sharks as my insurance bet, and I went another one on my points bet, and I went half-time, full-time double Melbourne, D's, Sharks, and I got a couple of more legs on that one. And
who's even good in the NRL now? Who are the good teams?
No one. Everyone's fucking. Oh, should we do fans love their Thursday night footy? Are we still doing
Nice, Gary!
So last night
We've got Val Kilmer with the American flag on the screen. We're talking about fucking multi-bets.
You know what? It looks like a Bet365 commercial.
That will take the Bet365 cash. I guess. Now, last night, the fans love their Thursday night footy. Came in 9 spots under Gogglebox, not surprisingly.
Okay.
Now, what those 316,000 fans didn't know is they were, and I quote, but when I did the Google search today,
yes,
is this possibly the worst game of rugby league ever played? Is what happened last night. So you had the
such an open question though. Like,
no, it's fucking very validated.
been so many games of rugby league. It's tough.
You had the West Tigers play the Gold Coast Crazy Malakas, and I was getting messages throughout the game from mates going, "Are you watching this? This is fucking horrible."
Is Gold Coast still a team? They should be. They should have been sold off again by now.
Oh, mate, between the Seagulls, the Chargers, and now the Titans.
We should have renamed them by now. They've been the Titans too long.
Right now.
We should go right back to the Seagulls again. Just go back to the old strip. Let's start again,
the Giants were before the Seagulls.
That's right, the Giants.
They were too. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, with those weird kind of purple fucking jumpers or the weird teal purpley kind of jumpers.
No, the Chargers were purple. The Giants were like the Giants were the same sort of colours as Geelong in the AFL. It was like
blue and white.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty sure. No, that was a fair while ago, actually.
Yeah, that's so full on because I've always you're right though. I've always assumed that the Seagulls were the first.
No, I'm just trying to look up now.
I thought Seagulls were the first too.
And then the South Queensland Crushers, I suppose.
The Crushers are separate.
Yeah, separate though.
Yeah. Oh, actually, side note, talking about ex-rugby league teams, did you hear that I was talking to League Freak the other day that he knows a guy who was a builder on the new stand at Brookvale for Manly, who's a North Sydney Bears supporter, and they buried a Bears jersey under the new stand to curse him.
Nice, Gary!
I give him a dick move. Fuck them. The Bears have been milking money off whoever they can take money off for the better part of 20 years now. We're going to get the Bears back. Anyone stupid enough to give money to the Bears bid to come back to the footy deserves to have their money stolen.
There's a part of me, Greeno, that really wishes that we had a similar system to the Premier League and the subsequent football leagues in England. I would love to go down and watch like St. Mary's Football Club and have them playing like it doesn't matter if it was like the third tier of rugby league or something, you know. But like there is something special about like local grounds and shit, and I really do dislike the kind of sanitization and the AFL model. I don't really like that much because if you lived in Melbourne, you just go into 2 stadiums all the time, and it just I don't know. I know it works because of current day culture and monopolization, in a marketplace and all that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's still part of me that, like, every time I watch an English, I don't know about you, Braddles, but I love watching a Premier League game like at Burnley or something, where it's like, let's say it's Liverpool or Man U at Burnley, and it's like 15,000 fucking Burnley fans just going off their tits in this tiny little local ground, like the Dell used to be for Southampton, these intimidating little hovels, where the big teams.
Last time I was there, I went to Craven Cottage.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah,
that's you won't
right
get
on the Thames. Yeah,
you won't get a more suburban ground in London than that. I think you'll have to go outskirts. Yeah,
special. There's something special about those small grounds, and I know that rugby league, like, our marketplace is different because you need to have 7 teams in one big city, and I understand you can't have 7 different grounds and all that shit, but I do wish sometimes. I'm a bit of a, like I said, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to sport. I kind of like the idea of little 10,000 max stadiums for little teams competing against big teams and stuff, but we'll never see it here. Just won't happen. So.
I used to support, or I still do, my local football team when I was in South London was Sutton United, and their capacity is 5,000.
That's brilliant.
And they've, for the first time in their 150-year history, have now made it to League 2 in the English Football League.
Jesus.
And they're playing a final next week in the one of the lower league cups. So it's not like the FA Cup. Yeah, it's like Papa John Trophy.
Papa John's Trophy,
yeah. And the treasurer there is a guy from Melbourne, an accountant from Melbourne, and he invited me along and, got tickets into the chairman's lounge. And when you've got a stadium that's 5,000 people, it's not like there's nothing special. Like the media area was in the grandstand with a little timber plank of wood in front of you for your little notepad.
I love that stuff, man. That's
brilliant. I took Karen there when she came over. We watched them play Leyton Orient. And at half time, the fans swapped ends as well as the players. It was fantastic.
It's all so communal and casual.
Yeah.
All right, then, it's us against you. What are you going to do about it? I guess that's
so
the way it's going to
be. I said to my mate, I'm like, where's everyone going? He's like, half time, bruv. It will change ends. I'm like,
Nice, Gary!
That was fantastic.
That is brilliant. Fucking good little story time there.
I like stories about pinatas.
Threw a little story in for us, the Braddles.
I like it. So I get B in, sneak it in, nice little story times.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? The worst game of football ever. No, here's the thing. So getting tweets, messages, all of it throughout the course of the game going, are you fucking watching this? Thankfully, I wasn't. I decided to watch an old school Netflix movie.
Which one was it? Greeno?
I ended up watching The Town.
The Town. Which
Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner.
I've seen that flashed around on Netflix, but I haven't watched it. Is it any
really,
good?
really good? It's about like bank robbers and old school Boston stuff. Nice. Found it quite interesting, but it was one of those ones where I'd heard good things, so I put it in the save list to go back and watch. And I'm like, I got the option of watching the Titans or Tigers or this movie. I chose the movie instead, and thankfully, based on all the messages I was getting throughout the night, good call. Everyone was like, "This is a fucking horrible game." I'm like, not watching it. I've decided this year I'm not going to watch bad footy for the sake of watching bad footy.
So what made it bad, though?
Well, firstly, the two teams are shit. So let's put it that way. So I knew going into the game, this game is going to be fucking shit because the Titans and Tigers are bad teams. Now,
and last week the Tigers played the Warriors, and it was like both teams were trying to lose.
Yeah, and the Titans then blew a 22-0 lead against the Raiders, who have been terrible so far this year.
Sometimes bad teams have good games though because they just kind of throw it around and go for it.
The current
team can defend.
The current day model of rugby league, there is literally only 4 good teams to watch. Everything else is shit. Like it's a bad product. It's just no good.
Well, see, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about now. There's 4 teams who can win the Premier League on any given occasion, but I go for one of the teams that's probably never going to win it. But I don't care, because I go for my team.
You can watch a game and go, this is still a good game, even though they're not going to win the comp. Bad footy is bad footy. And Brad, you might have different opinions, but this year I decided if there's going to be fucking bad games, I watched too many bad games last year. I'm not going to do it this year. This game was one I put in there. And here's the summation for you, Damo. The score was 6-2 with 2 minutes to play.
But that might be a good team. That might be a good game. Some of the best games I've watched have been like super low scoring. Okay.
All those points were from penalty goals.
The boot of Sean Edwards, who potted 4 field goals.
There was 29 errors in the game. So the final score ended up being 8-6 because the Titans scored with a minute to go. So 14 points, 29 errors.
Okay, it does sound like a women's AFL game. If I'm being honest.
Just fucking terrible. 16 penalties
and chauvinists and sexists.
Fucking terrible. 29 errors, 16 penalties conceded.
Very little scoring happening generally.
Yeah, only one try. There was a whole bunch of penalty goals scored.
Yeah.
Just fucking terrible.
Just a bunch
time watching this game?
Bunch of chicks out there on the field kicking it around, not doing nothing with it, just not scoring,
I flicked it over. I was watching the AFL and because the Swans were on last night. And I flicked it over and it was 2-2 with 10 to go. And I'm like, thank fuck I wasn't watching that.
Yeah. So, here's the scoring. You had Luke Brooks kick a penalty goal at the 40-minute mark. So there was no points until the 40-minute mark in the first half.
Kind of cool, too, because so many NRL games now are like shitty defense and stuff. They score way too many tries. Remember when it used to be like 12-6 in a game and now it's 32-26?
There was 29 errors in this game, mate. This wasn't fucking good defense. This was just bad. All my mates were like, I've seen better in local grade rugby, just fucking terrible. So those 316,000 fans that obviously got outrated by the budget opposition reply, which we pointed out about hours ago, is a made up thing that doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter. Literally does not matter, folks. Don't listen to it. It's pointless. It's useless. It's literally useless. Don't worry about it. Don't ignore it. Yeah.
So's the budget to begin with.
Yes.
Outrated Thursday Night Footy by 40,000 people. A reply on ABC TV of something that doesn't matter to begin with. The reply that matters even less than the original thing that didn't matter. Outrated Thursday Night Footy by 40,000 people. It ended up being the worst game in rugby league history. So that 316,000, I guarantee you by the end of it, there was probably only about 16,000 watching.
There you go.
But fans, though, I love their Thursday Night Footy. This
Speaking
show is
of footy,
going fucking way too long. We need to fucking wrap this bad boy up. Let's do Buddy and let's end with the Jamie Foxx shit and get out of here.
Oh no, we'll do Jamie Foxx next time. That's all right.
I'll do a quick one. Gold Coast Tweedheads Giants were 1988 to 89. Then they went over to the Seagulls.
The Giants were first. Then there you go. Wow, fucking nice.
But, there's one thing I didn't know about this though. But so they went 88 to 89, then they folded into the Gold Coast Seagulls from 90 to 95, and then very briefly as the Gold Coast Gladiators. I didn't know that.
I remember the Gladiators because Wally Lewis played for the Gladiators, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Wally Lewis and
Rowdy was already there.
Langer played for Seagulls as well as Rowdy. You're right.
Yeah. Did Langer play for Gold Coast as well? Did he, Alfie?
I think he may have.
Really? I thought he went to Brisbane and then Warrington. Yeah.
I'll double check that one. But yeah, Gladiators, and then they went to the Chargers from 96 to 98.
Gold Coast Chargers, that's right. And they had that weird kind of, mascot with just a lightning bolt on the side of his head. And no one could figure out if he was a superhero or an electrician. Wearing a company hat. He had a lightning bolt on his shirt. The Chargers. You call them when your car won't start. The Gold Coast Chargers. Oh, what a team they were, hey? The Chargers.
Langer didn't. He went from Ipswich Jets to Broncos to Warrington, back to Brisbane.
Thank you very much. I knew he didn't play for Gold Coast. All right, this is Buddy kicking his 1,000. I didn't watch it live. I don't care. I'm going to put my hand on my heart and be honest.
You guys were doing a show. You were doing this show last week when it was on.
Oh, right. Well, that's good because I didn't have to watch it. So, No, look,
should
I
be
don't.
glad it just wasn't against your team the week before. That's all you need to worry about.
No,
you don't want to be in the replays of that.
Well, no, like let's get into that then if I can, because my wife is also.
Right, man, this show's already gone 3 hours. Why are we still going?
No, but very quickly, I thought the reporting of Buddy's going to kick 1,000 against us in the round one. I've always thought that was silly. I thought that's why you guarantee. What are you putting that much? First of all, you're putting pressure on him to kick 5 goals in a game, which is incredibly hard to do. So, and especially hard to do when you're playing against a guy who has owned you basically your whole career, which is Phil Davis. And, you know, even the most hardened Buddy Franklin fans cannot deny that Phil Davis owns him. Every forward has one defender that they can't play against. And ask, you know, all of the forwards who used to play against that fucking, what was that spunk who used to play for Richmond back in the day, Brad? What was his name? Everyone loved him. What was their big fucking defender? You know the guy I'm talking about. He retired quite young.
I can picture him.
Alex Rance. Rance.
Yeah, Rance. Yeah.
Right. So like everyone's got a defender that they used to own them, and Phil is fucking Buddy's defender. So I wasn't at all worried. I'm glad that it didn't happen, but I was quite confident that Phil would take care of it. But the way that the AFL build it up against my team, right, to be like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They took it out of our home ground and took it to ANZ, which I'm really shitty about and still shitty about, because otherwise I would have gone to the game. So fuck the AFL for that, because
Nice, Gary!
they thought, oh, we'll do Buddy's 1,000 at ANZ. We'll really pump it up. We'll try to sell the tickets. That's how much they squeezed out of the Swans fans for that first fucking round, right? They had to give them a neutral away game to try and celebrate Buddy's 1,000. And they basically sold it to the Sydney public as a fait accompli. He's going to kick his 1,000th against the Giants, and that's the way it's going to be. Too fucking bad. You have to be there. They've been selling this idea for the last 20 years. They've been telling us that pitch invasions are wrong. Pitch invasions are bad. You must not run on the ground. If you run on the ground, you're a fucking idiot. But they've been tepidly selling the idea, hey, everyone should run on the ground for Buddy's 1,000s because it's going to be history and it's going to be fucking amazing. So on 2 counts, I'm glad, number one, that the Giants and Phil Davis personally gave a big fucking middle finger to the AFL and said, well, we're not going to let it happen against us. I said to my wife during the game, I reckon Phil Davis would rather beat Buddy Franklin to death on the field than let him kick his 1,000th of fucking against him. And that's exactly what he did. He took care of fucking business. So the AFL was selling tickets. We go, oh, Buddy's 1,000, Buddy 1,000, Buddy 1,000. As soon as the game was finished, they're like, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. He'll do it at the SCG anyway.
Nice, Gary!
Okay, nice, Gary.
The AFL fucked the Giants over. Like, I'm a Swan supporter, obviously, but it's like they changed the venue, like you said, and they sold it as this spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
And Giants fans went, well, fuck you, we're not going. Why would we go and watch this big rub and tug? And it didn't even happen. And you're right, he got marked big time. Yeah. But I also think gameplay, like I showed you them stats after the game about where they were outside the corridor, but not quite on the wings. What I was happy with, they didn't look for him as what I would have imagined they would have. Like, let's get this 1,000 goals over and done with so I can get back to normal football. Mm-hmm. But they didn't look for him. But I think that's 50-50. He was getting marked at the shithouse, but he was also other guys were like, well, let's just win this first, and then we'll deal with that later. Yeah, which is like I don't dislike Buddy Franklin, and I don't dislike the Swans either. I've always I respect the Swans. I just don't go for them because for me they're not a Sydney team. They're South Melbourne. So but that's whatever. I've never had like a big connection to them or anything. So I respect the Swans, and I like Buddy Franklin, the guy. But yeah, the whole selling of the 1,000 goals dick suck, it was just too much for me, man. And I'm like, oh, look, because they've just commercially latched on to this guy's career for they've just squeezed the last fucking drop out of Buddy Franklin in this last week and a half with the whole 1,000 goals. And I understand it's a big event. I understand it's incredibly rare and it doesn't happen very often. But again, one example, going against 20 years of telling people it's not okay to run out on the field and then allowing and promoting this. They were on the field before you even kicked it.
Yep. Because the AFL had been selling what a great event it's going to be. Listen, they're playing music over the PA. right? So I dislike the whole manufactured element. You know, when those past heroes like fucking Plugger and Dunstall kicked their 1,000, people running on the field was an organic experience. And I'm really angry at the AFL for the way they've treated this whole Buddy 1000 thing. They've tried to just leech it for their own fucking, you know, despicable purposes. Instead, Buddy, the whole reason Buddy Franklin's in Sydney in the first place is because he doesn't want the fucking attention. And, you know, look at what they've done to this poor guy. He's just a guy who just wants to relax and fuck his life and go to the beach. You know? Anyway, that's my rant for the night.
No, I don't mind your rant. Like, I actually didn't mind the fans running off. I thought it was a good thing. I think the safety aspect is a fucking different thing. And once again, this used to happen all the time in sporting events, right? Like, now it's
no, it did. And it's when it happens naturally, it's fine. Just don't criticize, don't arrest people and throw them in jail for the night for 20 years. And then
it's fucking insane. You know. Like, I get that. What I found a bit annoying about the coverage post this game was the fact they posted the guy that caught Buddy's 1,000th goal online, and basically made him like public one to social media. Like, you got to fucking give it back. So the poor dude was like, he got this awesome bit of memorabilia and he fucking raced off. He got it. He raced home. But everyone's got a mobile these days. So they filmed the dude and they found out who it was. And then, like, proper news media were posting it online going, if you've seen this dude, Buddy wants the ball back.
Shaming him.
Like, fucking shaming him to bring it back. And I'm like, that is criminal. Like, if that was my face up there, I'd be like, fuck you.
Basically, they could have.
I'm going to post a social media picture of me burning the ball just out of fucking spite. Because fuck you guys. Like,
stabbing it. Puncturing it with a big knife.
Because fuck it. Like, I'd rather
draw some eyes on it and hold a knife to it.
Yeah, I go, yes, Bia, you're a fucking genius. That's what I would have done. I would have held the ball hostage. I would have put a gas over his mouth and posted a video to Buddy and the media as large. And like, I've got it. I fucking if you don't send me $1 million, I'm not fucking releasing the ball. And would have made a joke out of it because fuck them. I found that disgusting to that poor dude who happened to have the excitement of catching a ball that was quite historic. I understand that, but the ball goes into the crowd. Buddy has no entitlement to that. He's got the record. Good on him. But that fan just caught a piece of history. The fact that his face got posted by
they treated him like Australia's most wanted. Like
fans followed, like videotaped him and posted it online. I found that fucking disgusting and a really sad indictment of our current life. Like,
there's a few things to that, right? So people were saying, like, this guy who's taken the ball, he doesn't have any certificate of authenticity to say that it was Buddy's ball. For anyone else, it's just a regular ball in his lounge room. And they're like, the guy's been filmed catching it going, I've got the fucking pill. Yeah. And I watched the interview with him and he actually jumped the fence onto the field and, you know, give himself a few little kicks to himself and then thought, said to his mate, I can't believe I got the ball. And his mate's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You gotta go. So he's jumped back over the fence and he's legged it back to the house. And he's taken the ball home. He's gotten back in a cab and gone to the pub. And he said he was just paranoid all night that someone knows that he's got the ball and that his photo and video is online now. He was concerned that someone's going to know where he lives and break in and steal it. So he went back home. Yeah. But there's
there you go. That's life, and that's the difference between, you know, our Australian brothers and sisters and our American brothers and sisters. If you go to America and you catch a foul ball, you know, you'll hand it to a kid and everyone hugs each other and goes home for the night. If you catch a fucking foul ball in Australia, you have to lock your doors because you're worried that someone's going to try and cut your throat and fucking steal the memorabilia and sell it on the internet.
Damo, after this show, look up the documentary of Steve Bartman. That might change your opinion.
Nice, Gary!
Are we the only country in the world that actually give the balls back in a sporting game?
We are.
I think so, mate. Like,
us and Ireland as well.
Like Europe in soccer and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Surely they throw the balls back.
Yeah, but they do throw them back, but they've got a whole bunch of them as well. Yeah. Like they don't care in soccer if they kick a ball and it goes into the crowd, they just get another one from the sideline and play with it. But we're the only country where we like try to get, if it goes into the crowd for some reason, we try to get the one back that they had. Have you know, like they have extra balls there and they can just get them out of a bag and stuff, but we will always take that time out and like, the player will stand there and put his hand up on the field like we haven't noticed him. Like, hey, can you throw it to me? and the person in the crowd throws it back. Yeah, every other country they just take it. And like, fuck you, it's my ball.
I remember it as a kid being like, sorry, B.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think that like grounds like Bellerive Oval in the cricket, when cricket's a massive sport for the same ball, right? We all know that.
Yep.
But if a six get hit down at Bellerive, you're that kid sitting out in the street going, if this comes over the fence, I'm fucking home. Like,
just darting off and hiding in the shed.
So the point I was going to make was I was more thinking it as at the footy. Like I remember being as a kid, a ball got kicked to me, like real fucking young dude, like obsessed with footy. And the rule was like, if you catch the footy, you got to throw it back. For me, like, surely they've got a whole bunch around. Surely they can blow it up. And the kids that when you kick it over for a penalty, surely the kid can keep the ball, right? But no, it was like, you better throw it back. And I caught it. I'm like, they're like, throw it back. I'm like, okay. As a kid, that would have meant the world to me to actually kick the ball. I was like 10-year-old, like a player I'd idolized, kicked the ball out to me. I caught it. Like, amazing. But they're like, throw it back. Rugby, like cricket, I agree. Like that ball needs to go back because there's authenticity in the age of the ball and impacts the ability of the game. Rugby league, AFL, like surely the ball that gets kicked out, that's got to be the fans, right? Like just have a ton of balls around. You got enough sponsorship, you got enough money. Like just go nuts.
You know what? It's not as silly as it seems, because there has been an argument long in rugby league, AFL, rugby union, where it's like, how much would it really cost us to buy like an extra fucking 200% worth of balls and just let the people keep them? Like, how much would that cost us as opposed to how much we would gain out of the experience for people?
It's just, it makes there's no logical reason behind it. Cricket has a logical reason because the age of the ball impacts the game. Rugby league, AFL,
and what happens after the game is they get signed and they get handed out.
Exactly. If the ABL can fucking afford to allow me to fucking take balls home that is on a shoestring budget that they make no money.
So true, man. It's nice,
surely.
Gary. Nice, Gary.
NRL, AFL can afford to have some fucking Sharons.
Well, it just shows that people like, NRL, AFL have more dollars and cents, and then the administrations like the ABL, for example, who we've bagged in the past for cancelling into season and stuff. But let's remember the space that they're working in is a very, very different space compared to the NRL and the AFL, just out of pure money reasons. But they probably do better with the money they have than I would. I wouldn't trust the NRL executives or the AFL executives on the budget the ABL has. I would think, no, they're going to ruin it. Like,
they'll find a way. Well, quick story time for you.
I like stories about pinatas.
Oh, come on, Greeno. You're keeping the show going too long, mate. We've been trying to get out of here for an hour, mate. Fucking hell, mate. Fuck.
Talking about the ABL, a couple pre-pandemic, took my little one to a preseason game for the Blue Sox just before fucking Rona hit, right? Yep. And I was like, I really want to go to this preseason game.
It's like the All-Stars. Nobody cares, but everyone's fat.
No, I was just like, it's on the fucking backfield. It's gonna be fucking terrible. Exactly. But I hadn't been to like a Blue Sox game in a few years at that point, and I was just kind of like, it's the first chance I got to take like my kid to a baseball game. And she's like, Dad, can I come? And I'm like, all right, sweet. I'll take you along. It's like a Thursday night. She's got to go to daycare the next day, but all good. I'll take you along. We'll sit in the outfield. We'll be fine. And I'm like, it's a preseason game, so there's not going to be many people there. We might catch a fly ball or something like that. Happy days. Nothing was coming to us. And she's like, I'm getting a little bit tired. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, we'll head on home. And as we're walking back out, this ball dropped like in foul ground right in front of where we were walking.
Go and get it.
So then I was like, quick, fucking run. And like she's only 2 or 3 at the time. She ran, she quickly ran the ball, and it was a fucking exciting moment for her. And I'm like,
nice,
the ball? She's like, yeah. Quickly gave it to her because a whole bunch of kids are running up to her and like scaring her because there's this little 3-year-old little girl and a whole bunch of like boys running after her.
Yeah.
Quickly grabbed the ball. We're all good. But 3 years later,
and then you went up and went to those little boys and smacked them in the mouth.
Fuck off! Yeah, fuck off! Get away from my daughter!
Not even slap, like backhanded and follow through with the backhand.
Like fist.
Yeah. Get them with the elbow first and then the wrist.
Yeah.
You know,
spot on.
Yeah.
So, but funnily enough, like we got home and she was so excited to tell like her mom about like, oh, we got this ball, blah, blah, blah. We were just about to leave and then we caught it and it was all exciting. And then literally 3 years later, she's talking about, Dad, do you remember when we went to this baseball game and like as we were leaving, like not even as we were leaving, she's like, remember we caught the ball and then we kept the ball and we put it here, blah, blah, blah. Literally that ball is such a nice memory for me personally.
Yeah,
with
as
my
a
daughter.
dad, for sure. Yeah,
Like she remembers it now. A couple of years later, it was exciting her reflecting the story and excited to tell it. But for me, knowing that ball was in our house, and it literally says like ABL preseason, which is fucking lame as fuck. But for me,
it means something.
As a memory of like, this is the first baseball game, like, or technically it's the second because I took her in a pram one day. It's the first game me and her got to enjoy as like just me and her, like daddy-daughter time. That we caught a ball and it was a nice little thing. That ball had always been our house. Anyone in the AFL or the footy or whatnot, I know it's a very long-winded story, is not going to get the same
story.
experience.
It's a good story.
Yeah. So it's kind of a nice thing for me personally that a lot of these people that the ABL in a very small, low budget pre-season game, I've got a memory that I wouldn't have got at footy or AFL. That's what's going on.
And that's something that the baseball has always done really well. I guarantee you, everyone who's ever caught a foul ball at a Major League Baseball game has remembered it. Put it that way, right?
Yeah.
Whereas everyone who's caught a ball at a footy game here, I don't know. I've probably caught a couple. I've definitely been hit a couple of times with like a soccer ball and stuff behind the nets at the Wanderers and shit. Like that's happened, but it's not special, because it's different. You know what I mean? It's just a different thing. But that's something that the baseball get really right is that they create memories, don't they, for people with that kind of shit.
I think baseball's a sport too, where you've got to be passionate about it to watch it from start to finish and do pre-seasons. Like, every season you'll get the armchair sports fanatic that'll watch the World Series or whatever.
Little reward for the passionate fans, you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, look at Greeno does the hot stove and he does the spring training and all that sort of stuff. Like he knows
to my protest.
Speaking of, but to have that moment with your daughter, man, that's like, we know how special that is for you, and that ball will be in your family as that memory forever. Like that's pretty cool, bro.
Well, I've already quick story time.
I like stories about pinatas.
Oh, Greeno, we've been trying to get out of here for 2 hours, mate. It's fucking so late. Are we still doing a show? Fucking hell, mate.
I literally have 3 foul balls from baseball, right? So from the ABL. So the first one I got is one that landed as me and my wife were arriving for a game on Boxing Day. When we found out we were about to have our first kid. So my wife was pregnant and it landed literally fucking in our lap. First foul ball we ever caught. So that's in a nice little case. Second one I caught was the first game I ever went with my parents to the Blue Sox game. And the ball, it was a kind of a shitty old ball, but the team was playing in the dugout and they're like, hey man, here you go. You've been fucking cheering us on all day. Here's a ball. And it was kind of a cool moment. That's the second one. Thirdly was the one I just mentioned. So I've got 3 balls and all of them.
3 memories.
Talking about 3 individual memories. One's fucking super special because I knew we just fucking told my family that we were about to have a kid, and it was fucking super cool. And for some reason, I decided to drag my wife to a baseball game on Boxing Day.
To celebrate. Hey, babe, you can't drink now, right?
Designated driver.
Pissed as a fucking shook from my uncle's place to a baseball game and then back home. But this ball, it fucking popped up right in front of our lap, and it was kind of a nice connection. Nice. And then, one with my family and one with, my daughter. So you're right. Like, the ball itself, even though it doesn't seem like it's much, if it's linked to a specific memory. If it was just a random
Yeah.
game I went to by myself, fucking who cares? But for some reason, all 3 balls I've ever got in an ABL game are all linked to a nice little memory. So
How about this? How about this NRL AFL? Let's say it costs you $1 million to buy enough footballs to just let the fans keep them when they go in the stands. It's still got to be worth it, right? Like,
Well, I'm telling
let's
you,
say it's
story.
let's say it costs you $1 million to fund footballs for a season. It wouldn't, but let's
Here's a
say
thought.
it is.
So your rugby league merchandise is disgustingly expensive. If it's like $160 for a jersey.
fucking nuts. I've told this story before on the show.
It's criminal.
And
If,
that's-
like,
I'll let you
I'll buy one every 3 or 4 years simply because of that.
Mate,
but if they sold them for like $70 or $80, I'd probably buy one every
year. Yeah.
You're insane, dude. If you spend them 3 years, 160, fuck no, you're doing what they want you to do. Like,
I'm not buying one every year though.
Oh, good.
No, some people buy them every year.
But it'd be
That's
nice
what
to buy some for your kids at a reasonable price, right?
Yeah, like my last Bulldogs jersey is before they had the Kia sponsorship. That's how long since I've bought one because I can't justify buying a shirt for $160.
Nuts.
And the kids' jerseys they'll grow out of like in half a season are still $80. So if you sold adults' jerseys for around the $60 to $80 mark, people would buy them more frequently. You would make more money, therefore you would have more money to spend on balls that you could give out to the crowd. Problem solved. Thanks very much.
We talked about. You make a very good point there, but I wasn't even talking. We talked about this on the show about 8 weeks ago, I think, and we weren't even talking about adults' jerseys. We were talking about the kids' jerseys. So I remember when the Raiders
The
made
kids'
the GF
jerseys now cost what the adults' jerseys used to.
No, it's fucking nuts, mate. Like, I remember but in 2019 when the Raiders made the GF, my wife was like, oh, you should buy, like, my daughter, like, a little Raiders jersey she can wear for you, because I was fucking, like, I was a mad nerd. Like, it had been fucking so long since we'd been in the GF, and I was, like, crazy Raiders fan that week. I was fucking nerding it up. I went to the I went to the fan fest. I was wearing the
Watching
jersey
all the
all
old
week.
videos with Mal Meninga and Larry Daly.
I watched every DVD I had.
Yeah.
I was watching old clips. I was like, man, this is them in 20 years. I'm fucking like going nuts. And I was like, oh, I got kids now. I'll buy them a little fucking jersey. And I went to 5 different stores. I thought Peter Wynn's Score is meant to be like the fan kind of place.
No, you didn't, Greeno. Please.
No, and the kids' jersey was like $90. and then the little girl's jersey, because I got a little girl, was like a little cheerleader's outfit. I'm like, well, get fucked if I'm buying that. Like, I want to I'll buy her a little jersey, but I'm not spending $90.
Peter Wynn's, man, is kind of, it's fucking dodgy.
It's criminal.
Yeah.
So I went to 4 other stores. Every other kid's jersey was between the $60 to $80 around, like, mark for the size and what it was. She's going to grow out in a year. And I was like, well, I'm not going to buy it. And to your point, BE, every jersey for anyone under the age of, let's say, 14, $20 max.
Yep.
Because that creates fandom. That creates, like, I know, like, as a kid, I was a Raiders fan, and once my uncle bought me this, like, fucking Video Easy jersey as a kid, and I'm like, well, I'm never fucking going back. Like, this is my team. Create the fandom in the kids. But, like, the jerseys literally are made in China and Thailand, and they cost $9. Like, sell them for fucking 20. Get the fans in. You want to charge the adults stupid money for the jersey? Like, fine, crap. Okay, like, we'll make our decisions of whether we feel it's appropriate to buy a jersey for $160. But kids, make everything under $20. You've created your next generation and the generation after that of fandom, because they've got a jersey they're going to be proud to wear. Like, that just makes no sense to me personally.
Absolutely. I've still got my Bulldogs jersey from 1995 when Bulldogs beat Manly in the grand final, and it's got the Hyundai sponsorship across the front.
Mate.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's still got a grass stain on the top left shoulder.
Nice,
After the grand final, all the kids All the kids went out in the backyard and played footy after we won it, and I've still got that same jersey. And that goes back to the memories of sport with you and your daughter, Greeno. Like that's the sort of stuff that it creates as a child. I mean, that was like my the first grand final that I was old enough to understand, I guess.
Oh,
In
mate.
95, I was like 12 or something.
Well, that like you're 100% right. That the jersey I ended up putting on my daughter, I had a Video Easy jersey that I got when I was 8, I think it was.
Yep.
I've still got it, and I just put it on her like in 2019. And I'm like, there you go. And we took a nice little photo, and there's a cool little photo of her wearing a jersey I wore as like an 8-year-old.
Mm.
And it did the exact same effect as if I went and wasted like $160. So I get the mentality of that jersey. Secondly, why didn't you buy the 1994 one when we beat you guys? I don't understand.
No, it's what about? What a dickhead.
Nice, Gary!
I kind of envy you guys with the jerseys and the kids and stuff because I've never really been a huge jersey wearing guy.
Like you had the Broncos jersey back when we were kids.
Yeah,
like,
but when we were kids, right? You know, I'm not really a huge jersey wearing guy. Like when I go to football now, it's just a scarf, and that's, you know, I just dress normally and just a scarf, which means my daughter will never learn the joy of wearing a jersey. She's going to have to learn how to be, you know, a trendy hipster fucking douchebag at the football. And just wear a coat and a scarf like all the other trendy hipster douchebags at the football. You know why? Because you're too fucking smart to fall for their propaganda, kid. And then she's probably gonna hate me. And that'll be fine. And then she'll rebel and wear the fucking jersey anyway, but she'll probably go for some other fucking team.
We'd be a fucking Souths jersey or some bullshit.
That's it. I'm really excited, boys. I've got to let you know. Myself and the Lady Boogs, we're going to our first game of footy. It feels like forever, man. Tomorrow, home game, man. Giants home game. I'm fucking so pumped for it, and I don't even care if we lose again. We've lost the first 2 games of the season. I don't care.
Like the old days where we don't care if we lose by 100.
No.
We just add the footy.
That's it.
Good game day. Yeah,
it's game day, man. I'm looking forward to. You know what I'm looking forward to, Brad? It sounds weird. I'm looking forward to walking into the stadium.
Yeah, that's so good.
It's a feeling like when I'm 5 minutes away lighting up a cigarette and I can see the fucking stadium in front of me and I'm getting close to the no, it's a feeling, Greeno. It's like, all right, we're coming home, baby. We're coming home. We're back home again. It feels good.
You know,
it's our
in those
people.
games when we walked in there, when we knew you were going to lose by 100.
Yep.
Like, I was there in the early days.
We were
video.
still pumped. Yeah.
You were messaging me going, hey, man, free tickets. I'm like,
game day.
But we stuck. And you're like, yeah, man, doesn't matter. Come along. I'm like, oh, cool. We'll come along.
Yeah.
And we lost by 100, but it was a fun day.
Yeah, we're playing Gold Coast tomorrow.
I drove up to Townsville for round
doggies.
1 against the Doggies and the Cowboys. Yeah,
got the W, didn't you?
Did. Yep, we got the win.
You don't win many in Queensland, do you? Either.
You don't win many in general, mate.
Your coach is fucking terrible, man. You had a tough
Bring back Des, mate.
Yeah,
Bring back Des.
Drank 1,000 beers and went to the footy. It was so good. And like going into that new stadium up there, it's like right next to the city as well. Like I totally get that. Like it was.
Yeah, they built.
How far is that from your trade, Bear?
My hotel was like across the river from the sea. But
no, like where you live.
It took me nearly 5 hours to drive there.
Oh, Jesus, man. I thought you were like top of North Queensland, but you're kind of like mid Queensland.
Queensland's a big
like
fucking state, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I've got 4 hours south.
I was trying to explain to my wife because I was mentioning that you went to the game, and she's like, "Oh, doesn't he leave North Queensland?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think he's kind of once again my geography retardedness." I'm like, "Yeah, I think he's up there somewhere. Surely it wasn't that far a drive. I didn't realize it was that long. So that's quite a big hike."
We got Rockhampton's 4.5 hours south.
Everything's far away.
4.5 hours. Yeah. Townsville's for 4.5, 5 hours north, and then Kansas 8.5 hours north.
Queensland, a big state. You don't realize how big it is.
Queensland's fucking huge. And
I drank. Yeah, sorry, go.
I was just going to say it's basically like most of the population is in like the southeast corner, and then outside of that, it's a fucking wasteland. You know, like it's just vast desert and bush, basically.
Well, now you've just made me realise, BE, my plan to drive for your birthday next year is just fucking not going to happen.
That's stupid.
It's hard to get. It's physically hard to get to Mackay. Like you can't even fly direct there, Greeno. You have to get like a connecting flight and shit, and like it's a pain.
They did
in the
at Christmas time. It was like a promotional thing to make you go with certain airlines, but they go out of the Whitsundays direct into Sydney, but everything out of Mackay is via Brisbane.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a new airline coming out soon in a couple of months called Bonza, and they're going to do
Bonza. I am never in my fucking life getting on a Bonza Airways.
Nice, Gary!
Bonza. You know what? It'll be Paige fucking Sporanovic or whatever her name is. She'll be flogging the Bonza Airways family coupon. Like,
it's like their logo is like a purple thumbs up smiley face type bullshit.
No! I'm not getting on a Bonza Airways fucking plane ever.
I didn't
Do they own a plane or just rent the old ones from other airlines?
I think it's the old ones. Yeah. No, I just looked up I literally just looked up it's Bonza with the thumbs up, hand thumbs up fist is the B for Bonza.
Oh, Greeno, are you going to be taking a discount deal from Bonza Airways, Greeno? Where do they fly to, incidentally? What are their main hubs?
They're going to do...
Lismore. They fly to Lismore, that's it.
They fly to Lismore. And they land in Barry's backyard in Lismore. Bonza Airways.
Joe's farm, he picks up in a tractor.
Joe flies the fucking plane, mate. He jumps off and he goes, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with Bonza Airways. Welcome to Joe's farm. I'm Joe."
He wants to babysit me goat while we fly.
Hey? Who wants to have sex with a pilot? I'm looking at you, sweetheart.
A lighter.
All right, let's wrap up this bad boy. Let's
get
end
out
it.
of here.
Here we go.
Let's end it with the fucking Jamie Foxx clip we were doing about 2.5 hours.
No, we'll do that next week.
No, we're doing it now. That's how we're ending the show. Let's do Jamie Foxx and then go to Bosom Buddies.
Okay, really?
Thanks for jumping in, mate. Really nice chatting with you today, dude.
Yeah.
No worries. Thanks
for
for having me again.
Midnight local. We can just leave now. We don't have to do the Jamie Foxx.
No, we need to do the Jamie Foxx. We've been plugging it all episode.
Interesting story before we get to the Jamie Foxx clip.
No fucking story. Play the fucking
Can
video.
you hit the story time button for me?
Just because I got him so good.
I like stories about pinatas.
He wants to go and lock himself in the bedroom and put some bets on Sha-10.
Sha-10's all well and done. I'm still filthy. I can't believe I lost that last leg of the AFL, to be honest. I'm fucking filthy about that. I had a chance to crash out almost.
As big as he is, this motherfucker complained all year about his toe. And I can't believe somebody 7'1" was complaining about a toe. All that money this nigga's making, he complaining about a toe. You could cut my foot off and I'd still run up and down the damn court for the kind of money they pay Shaq. And I know how you hurt your toe, Shaq. Big ass Shaq is driving a little bitty Ferrari. Can you believe this big nigga can fit into a little bitty Ferrari? Nigga, that's how you hurt your toe trying to get in that Ferrari.
He's really bad, isn't he?
Real bad.
That's Fox, isn't it? Laughing.
I'm laughing.
I thought that was funny. Go ahead.
I thought that was funny. He's hurt already.
And Jamie, we happy for you. You done been in what, 2 hit movies? Y'all get up. You been in 2 hit movies. We happy. Because you got off to a slow start, nigga. Nobody here saw Held Up or Bait. Did anybody here see Held Up or Bait? Nigga, thank God you got in that lead. Nigga, thank God you got in that lead.
Oh. Look at this look. Look at this look here. This look here, Greeno. Look at him. Hang on. Where's Jamie?
Nigga, thank God you got in that lead.
Here it is. Look at it. Wait. This one here coming up. That
one. Nice, Gary. How do you not discuss the genius that is Booty Call?
Booty Call.
Get him a shovel.
Booty Call was one of my all-time favorite movies. Between between like say 15 and 21, I'm going to say Booty Call was up there. That was one of the big ones. Maybe not so much these days. I haven't seen it for a while, but
back in the day though, such a good movie.
So funny. Jamie Foxx was a star back then. That's before everyone knew him too. Booty Call.
Well, he wasn't a star. That's when him and I forget the guy. I think it was Anthony Davidson was the other
no one cared. He was the straight guy in the movie, so no one remembers.
He was, but he was the stand-up comedian as well. But yeah, all the lines Jamie Foxx had in that movie, I've still got it randomly on VHS.
Her name was Gonorrhea, but she spelled the shit like gonorrhea. I can't put that on a postcard.
Spot on.
Hey, what's up, Monique?
Monique!
He was talking about big women. I love big women.
Doug Williams is just fucking bombing, okay? And so he goes after Jamie Foxx, and Jamie's like, "Oh, okay, is that what you're gonna do?" And he's waiting for for this guy to land a blow on him, and he doesn't, and he just kind of shines off, and Jamie's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna fucking." I guess he's just like, I'm gonna rip your soul out now, you know. Ruins his career in this one moment. Ruins his career.
I'm tired of all these skinny bitches who won't admit that big women look good.
That's what I'm talking about.
I hate big women that try to hide the fact that they're big. They always say, I'm just big boned. Nah, bitch, you got regular bones with big ass meat wrapped around them. That's why I love you, baby.
Ah, he's so bad.
So bad.
He's like, oh, no, what do I do now?
He's little sarcastic little fucking, this guy.
Mike, where the hoes at, man? Where the hoes at? I came here to get some of these hoes, man. You got no hoes?
Look.
No cocaine? Nigga, no wonder this party's so dead. We want you to lie your shit
He
up.
sucks, doesn't he?
We're here for Emmett Smith.
I remember once watching a roast, Greeno. Sorry to interrupt. I remember watching a roast. Anthony Jeselnik.
40 minutes, isn't it?
Greeno. Anthony Jeselnik was at a roast, and he was doing. He was the one roasting at that particular time, and he made some joke, and like there was a black guy who was like in part of the group, and he made a joke, and Anthony Jeselnik kind of turns to the crowd and says, "Oh, you didn't get much of a reaction there," and the black comedian said something like, "Oh, there's not enough black people here to you know, there's he said there's too many white people here for that to be funny." And Anthony goes, "You know what no one's ever said? There's too many black people here." No, sorry, I got it wrong. No. It was he said there's not enough black people here to make that joke funny, and he said something like, "You know what no one's ever said? There's not enough black people here." And it was just like, oh, it's like fucking savage moment. And the fucking guy just laughed. You know what we're going to do on the show next week, Greeno? And Brad, you should come on the show next week because we're wrapping this up now. I need to show you guys, because I didn't get to my story about Assetto Corsa Competizione.
It's still time, man. Let's pause it. Let's go to Assessor.
No, I'm bringing it back next week. Next week, what I'm going to bring to the show next week is I've found this guy. He does like Formula 1 2021 videos. But what he does, he's like a fairly competitive kind of esports dude. But the reason I love this dude, he commentates his own races. He is fucking amazing because of his style of commentary. So he'll race the race, right? And then he does a video commentating himself in the races.
As the gamer.
Yes. But his style of commentary, it's like, so, you know, I thought I set up today with like 26 PSI in the front tires as we go around the corner and we almost lose it. Oh my God. And so, you know, I was thinking about like, you know, if I pit now and I take enough fuel, as you can see here, somebody coming up behind me, almost losing it off the dirt. Like, this is the way he commentates like a whole race like this. It is fucking wild, and I love this.
It's
like
horrible.
No, it's not horror. It's just, trust me, you'll be sucked in. You'll love this dude. But I'm bringing that next week, so stay tuned.
Are you going to do that, something similar like that now you've got the race set up?
No. But that's the story. That's a story for another time, Brad.
Okay.
About the race
Can you make sure you DM that through to our chat so I don't put in the rundown there?
I got everybody out of the way, and I did too. I want to say this to Emmett Smith, man. I'm your conscience. It's a man, it sure did get hot in here. Am I fucking up right now?
Am I fucking up right now?
I'm your conscience. I really don't need to be up here right now. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Your brother start making money, you can't tell him shit.
Oh.
Alright. I wish I was in a movie with Jamie. 48 hours. You are right about that. 72 hours. In fact, I don't know.
72 hours.
Can you co-sign on the car for me? I just did another joke that didn't go over. I'm your conscience.
So good.
Maybe I
They
should
cut
say
his
something
mic,
nice
huh?
about Emmett and wrap it up. Maybe I should talk about how black people have to struggle. Yeah, that'll get them on my side. Thank you very much, Jamie Foxx. Thank you. I needed the help. I appreciate it. I'm not Jamie Foxx.
I am your conscience.
I'm your conscience.
Oh man, and he's not even the guy who's supposed to be getting roasted.
Nice, Gary!
That's the beautiful part about it. Well done. That's such a good fucking clip, man. That's it. All right, we're out of here.
Plugs.
I'm doing a show tomorrow. BE, you doing a show tonight, or are you going to bed now?
No, I'm going to go to bed, I think.
All right, he's going to bed. Follow BE.
Yeah, here I am. Follow me.
Follow his. There he is. He's right there. All right, till next time, guys.
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Night.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but